What is up, everybody? Alright, more case files time. Let's see what we can get done today. Turn the music down a little bit. Well, that is a really good song. 1 4-star Ember. Oh man, you spoiled me, game. Hey, Bunny, what's up? Thank you for the 16 months, man. I feel like I never see... And there's Lost. Damn it. Anyway, I feel like I never see your sub notifications, Bunny, but apparently 16 months, way more than a year, so appreciate it. I didn't get a notification. I was wondering what was up with that. And Zashi with the 6 months. Everybody subbing. Whilst I am very surprised you just threw $1 at me instead of a nickel, but you know, I don't even know why I bring this up. Because now I'm just gonna get a nickel. But I appreciate it regardless. Alright, what does this account need to do? My main account is a good bit ahead of it. Let's see. Need to bring Gray. Yeah, there it is. Why did you bring it up? I don't know. Sometimes I just need to shut the fuck up and, you know, hide under a rock. And Carlos, didn't you resub like a couple days ago? But 9 months, apparently. Appreciate it. Alright, the only mission we got there is for Cleopatra. Don't have a mission for there, although sometimes they actually have missions, you just can't see them yet, and you get credit for them down the road. This is the only obvious one. So it's that in Cleo. I wonder how many times you need to kill Cleo. Let's see, I think we just need to beat one mission to continue the story. What do we got here? So that might be the Cleo one. Let's probably beat one of the stages 3 times. Beat one of the stages maybe 5 times. Those are the shop mats. Kill literally anything. Alright, we'll murder Cleopatra once and see what happens. I want to bring the spawn boosting CE. You know, can we make this work with Merlin? Yeah, it's actually probably better with him anyway. Damage. How you guys doing, chat? How you liking the... I did not put Gray on the team. You are correct about that. But how chat liking this event so far? Time for a Rush to go boom! It looks like unless I'm mistaken, it looks like the bonus episode though barely has any stages in it. It's mostly just story, which that's a little disappointing. Has anyone completed the whole thing, like the whole side story? Maybe it's time gated or something. That wouldn't shock me. Does Spartacus need the Buster up? Let's give him the attack up and see if that's enough. I'll get the NP up from Merlin here. Yeah, Gray's alright. He's in like the good half of the welfares. Okay, that was not enough damage. He might be able to do 9k here though. Yeah, there you go. Get out of here, Tamcat. Like, I don't like Gray as much as maybe Shiki, but Gray's totally fine. No hate for Gray. I feel like you'd have to be awfully uncultured to not like Gray. He's pretty inoffensive. Alright, let's start for you. What do you got? Might kill the... Oh, I'll take a 20% crit. Never mind. I was like, we're gonna need the extra attack, but no, we don't. I hope they do K&K 2 someday. And that's how we get cheeky coins. That'd be great. I didn't pay attention to the missions up top. Well, whatever we need for Cleo, we have to do it multiple times. We'll do it. Why not? We got apples to burn. Get Gray this time. Who do we boot? I mean, Ku really does need the coins for his third passive, but he's kind of close to getting it. He's got to get Bond 4 though. I guess Ku for now, and then we'll put him back on when either Tristan gets Bond 4 or Gray's been brought on enough teams. Toko would be awesome, but I'm not sure that's who they would add. Hard to say. Quite a few options we could do. I guess Toko has a chance though if they do whatever the hell that other visual novel they made was, because she's in that. She's kind of an antagonist, but not exactly. But she might make it then. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Wait, does Faker actually have a line for Toko? That'd be kind of funny. I don't know why she would, but well, maybe someday. Alright, we'll give Artoria, I think, has both her Buster cards next hand, so we'll give it to Spartacus. Let's see if that's enough for Spartacus to kill everything. Yeah, it's getting a movie or something. Hey, Boneless, what's up, man? Been a while. 47 months, dude. What you been up? And we didn't kill that thing, but what have you been up to? Well, there goes our 3 turn. Feels bad. Work, and more work. Oh. I'm over here, waiting for Lostbelt 7 and Elden Ring. I feel like Elden Ring is gonna beat Lostbelt 7 at this point, but, you know. What do you mean you're gonna be dead in 3 months? Hope you're not serious. You have FGO license screen? Yeah, we fucked up. Bonus mob didn't spawn, by the way. You know, honestly, the Buster Chain's probably better than a little bit of damage. Okay, never mind. Merlin crit. Oh, wife is pregnant. Yeah, you'll be dead for the next 3 or 4 years, I figure. It was nice knowing you, Boatless. Maybe see you in, 5-10 years. Hope that goes well. Big responsibility there. Man, Boatless, every time I get in an elevator, which honestly isn't very often because I normally take the stairs, but anytime I get in an elevator, I always remember that time on Discord you shared that video of you dropping your keys down an elevator shaft and you didn't give any context, and everyone was confused as fuck and trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Good times, good times. Yeah, I usually take the stairs anyway because it's faster, it's nice to get the exercise, and now with COVID and everything, it's like even more incentivized. Okay, we got the main story now. Did that open up the thing over here and yet? Nope. I've seen some sketchy stuff. Yeah, I imagine having worked in elevators, you've probably seen some Subpar maintenance for some elevators. Alright, big Shiki time. Why does Lancer Artoria have a horse but not Rider Artoria? Because shut the fuck up. But no, I know, really, it doesn't make any sense, F-Go man. Ushi's doesn't have her horse. I don't think they even remember it. Like, she had a horse in the original intro. And, yeah, they just, like, never used it. They gave her animation update, put her in an anime, all that stuff. No, no horse. Oh, Arash can't NP because I didn't bring, stuff. Alright, we'll just stall one turn. Yeah, George got his. At least that was known about for a while, though, like in his character material book. They'll probably kill them all. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of Lancers with horses now that I think about it. Yeah, they're pretty dead. Tough stage, tough stage. What's funny though, my main account instantly won all the gray missions from last year, so that was kind of funny. I think you might still have to bring her on the 20 stages, but the bond stuff and the leveling, ascending stuff, all that just auto completes. That's how all the events are. A lot of times they're time gated and you have to wait to get them. Big bad Merlin. Although actually, if we run into any bosses, we should actually fight them for real. Yeah, I got several friends with super Shikis. Airy, Beastly, Truck-kun. Okay, these are joke battles anyway. I don't really care that we're steaming through them. Steamrolling them, excuse me. Artoria is the real buffer here. Come on, Spartacus. Big damage. 62. I think Stella will take care of that. I don't know, 117? Maybe not. Need a level 100 Arash for that one, I have a feeling. That was pretty good though. Probably doesn't need to be 100, probably just like 85 or 90 would probably do that. Cannonball. Yep, they didn't want to animate the horse, I imagine, for the movie. So they just yeeted it. That's also why 100 Face wasn't in the movie. They didn't want to animate that either. Not a lot of artistic integrity going on there. Yeah, it really sucks for 100 Face. Sucks for 100 Face, and it sucks for Tristan, because Tristan is supposed to fight 100 Face, Serenity, and curse them all at once and come out on top for the most part, so it doesn't look half as strong in the movie because of that. Now, this quest, I think you had quite a few quests for. There's like a giant enemy down the line that you need, Babbage boss. They're only in like 2 free quests, and this is one of them, I think. This is actually a farming stream, apparently. Yeah, it's supposed to be the 3 Hassans versus Tristan, and Tristan kills Serenity, kills 100 Face, and then essentially doubles us down with Curse Arm. But yeah, they fucked that up. Guess a Rosh on this one. I guess I could give Spartacus a DPS CE. Yep, the case files intro music's really good. That's why I kept it in the YouTube video I just posted. I normally cut those, but I was like, nah, I'll keep that in. Who is the strongest of the 3 Hassans in your opinion? 100 Face. If there's no plot armor, 100 Face is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter that each one of them is weaker, because just having bodies means you can attack from all these angles. Like, you can have like 100 daggers coming at you from 100 different angles. Like, what are you gonna do? Right? And they're all really stealthy and they're all really skilled. Like, their stats are bad, but they're all specialists in certain things and are, you know, very, very skilled at sneaking around and that kind of shit. Like, what you could do is like a Grail War, send them out in like groups of like 15 or 20, and just have them scour the city, you know, be super stealthy. And then anytime, because there's so many of them in these big groups, anytime like 2 servants fight each other, they'll know about it. And then like right as the fight's wrapping up, you can gank them, or you can find the enemy masters, and no master's gonna be able to fight like 15 Hassans, especially if they're, you know, in presence concealment, and they like all throw their daggers at the same time at the master. Like, if it's, the only ones that might live that is like Bazette and like Caneth, right, because of the Mercury nonsense. But yeah, most masters would just be dead as fuck, and then you'll have such good coverage of like what's going on in the Grail War. You'll always know when servants are fighting. You always know what their abilities are. You always know when you have a good opportunity to gank. And again, even if you're not all 100 together, you can have, you know, like 15 daggers, you know, from every direction coming in. You know, that's pretty damn strong. Yeah, they're still not the strongest servant ever. You know, there's definitely servants out there that counter the hell out of them. You know, they're not like an I win button, but they're really, really good. And yeah, if there's no plot armor, they could really kill a lot of bitches. It's just, what I just described is so undramatic, and you would never want that. No one's gonna put that in an anime. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Underface wants to unify all the personalities, so they go back to their like original self. I think they kind of regretted that that whole deal. Yeah, they didn't get enough screen time in Fate Zero. Like, they're a really interesting character, and they have really interesting abilities, but they're impossible to animate, so no one wants to do anything with them. And obviously Fate Zero, they got taken out by Iskandar, so... You get a little bit more insight into like their thinking in the book, but they don't really get any more screen time. Just like a little bit more insight, that's about it. But you know, ultimately they get taken out pretty early because of the Iskandar thing, so. And that kind of happened because before 100 Face was designed, you had Fate Stay Night, the visual novel, and in the visual novel they told you that Kodamine had the assassin servant and was the first master to be defeated. Even though technically, you know, he wasn't defeated there, but you know, he intentionally, you know, misleads with that. So they kind of had to have a way for Kodamine's original servant to just get ganked. Because in Fate Stay Night, you learn about Kodamine being a previous master long before you know about Gilgamesh, and they don't want to, you know, out Gilgamesh. So he's like, oh yeah, no, my servant, you know, I lost really early, and that was that. And he just fails to mention the, yeah, then I teamed up with Gilgamesh, and he's still in the world right now, and he's actually watching you right now, right? He didn't mention that bit. Okay, that is a free quest. We still need to do this free quest several times. I remember there's quite a few reasons for these enemies, but we'll do this one real quick. I like how Gilgamesh wasn't even gonna show up in the Fate route until like the very end, but then Medea pisses him off. So he's like, I gotta murder Medea real quick. Not very sporting of him. Alright, let's go with I guess that, and we'll give... If it would like that, and then I guess she gets that. That's not so good, but she's not that important here, at least I hope not. Guess there's this too. It would like that. He wasn't going to interfere until there was only one left, or I guess it's something really... I don't know, and it's hard to say. Gilgamesh's thoughts on Saber are pretty complicated, to be honest. It's like, on the one hand, obviously he wants her to be the last one standing, but also if she shows herself to be incompetent and dies, I don't think he's going to save her, because then he's like, oh, she deserved it. So the only reason he interfered with Medea is because Medea, like, insulted his property. So, because there's a lot of bad endings where Saber dies, and presumably Gil doesn't do shit. So I think in his eyes, if she fucks up, that she wasn't worth it anyway. So she has to, like, prove herself in his eyes. So, yeah, he really had no intentions of doing anything until all the other servants were dead, and he just assumes Saber will be the last one. But honestly, I guess he's wrong about that, because there really are a lot of bad endings where that does not pan out. But in those endings, he's probably like, well, I guess she wasn't as worthwhile as I thought, and he just moves on, so... Oh, coming in strong there. Kind of convenient though, it kind of just lets them do what they want with the plot, but it works, like, I can buy it. Yeah, Medea doesn't have a good time in the fair out. In the visual novel, though, Kozuki survives the Fate route. It's only in the anime that he dies, but I actually think the anime is better. Like, I think the Fate route in the anime is just the same thing, but better. Like, the elements from Unlimited Blade Works that they moved over actually fit very well, and it tells a better story with, like, Kojiro having a complete beginning, middle, and end, and everything. Like, I think it's just better. Huh. Oh, I haven't ranked up Spartacus's, skill high enough, so that doesn't work. Damn it. Oh, and I brought, oh god, Lancer Artoria here, and that's Dion. Well, this is not looking so good. Let me just, try to get Spartacus's NP here. Yeah, I gotta either get Spartacus's passive, or I have to level up his skill all the way. It's kind of a skill issue on that one. More like a skill rank, issue, but, you know. Alright, can Spartacus do enough damage here? Probably, he's got a Buster Chain. Trying to save the buffs for Artoria, because if the boss is a Saber again, I'm gonna need it. Look at that damage difference, it was like 52k and then the Golem was 68. It's potentially because of, attribute, and there's also low high roll. Honestly, if you had one enemy that you were getting attribute bonus on, and you had another enemy right next to them that you were getting attribute, you know, negative on, so they're getting the bonus on you, and then on the one that you get the bonus, you high roll, and the one that you're getting the negative, you get the low roll, you absolutely will see a big damage difference. Probably bigger than what we just saw, honestly. So it's unlikely that was like a perfect, you know, every little thing there. Okay, not a Saber. Lucky us. That event had magical girls and magical gentlemen. I don't know where Dion lands on that. Probably just both. Okay, the next spawns for Tristan I think are a little bit easier. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because it would be nice to be able to put Ku back on the team to start working towards his coins. Speaking of the Fate anime, this is the Unlimited Blade Works movie OST. Which actually had a few cool bits in it. They cut out almost all of the characterization though, and there's definitely some weird decisions made in that. The Kozuki fight scene, that was pretty cool. Alright, let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. Well, I guess Spartacus just isn't quite ready to be a big boy here. Hey, Paladin. I wonder if Arash would be better on the second wave. I think he would be, actually. Hopefully we unlock the story soon. Get him! I wish that was still green. That was a cool NP. Like, obviously the sprite quality's better now, the effects are better now, all that. But if it was still green and it held the updated stuff, that would be very good. But they wanted it to be like the anime, so... I don't know why the anime made it purple-pink, though. I don't think anything in the book or character material books describes it as such, so I think they just... You know, the staff of the anime just decided to go with that. And then the FGO just followed suit. But yeah, I don't think there was any real reason for it. Alright, Arash can probably do this without any assistance, but we might as well do this. Yeah, a little bit of damage there. Don't think you need to do this stage that many times. Wow, none of the mobs spawn. I need to get my own CE. Get a higher spawn chance. I mean, you can literally see Lance Artoria has her passive. 250. Merlin's kind of cracked. Looks like I need to do that stage 3 more times. Yeah. Fine. It's not too hard to do. Oh, was her niche there? That would explain the damage. Merlin needs buff, I know, right? Yeah, I think if you bring grade 20 times, I think that's enough to get the bond that she needs, and then it's enough to do the requirement to bring her enough times, and then you just gotta ascend her a little bit. I don't know why I just cast that. Hopefully you didn't just, because I know you can complete this event like 80% of it in like one day. So hopefully you didn't do that, because then you don't have a lot of reasons to use grade anymore, because there's not much farming left. They probably, you know what, I'm gonna do this just for more damage. But they probably are gonna give Merlin a 50% battery. Like, cause the game needs more of those. You know, we need to be able to cycle 1,000,000 50% battery units now. Man, even with the CE, they ain't spawning worth a shit out here. I need to bring my own, at least one copy of it. That's crazy. Burb having a bad time, and she's gotta die 2 more times as well. might be a mission to do that stage 5 times. That one that's popping up. Alright, let's at least buy one of these. Boost that spawn rate. Can we have Shakespeare though? Like it sucks because Qingong is just so much better for the most part. Like every once in a while Shakespeare's good because 20% battery is sometimes exactly what you need. And his synergy with Poster Girl is really good. But most players don't have Poster Girl, so that's no reason to not buff him. Oh, mailbox. Damn it, game. This is not really a good CE outside of the event. I don't think anybody ever uses it, really. Give Shakespeare 20% for the team? That'd be okay, but you still have Asclepius that does that. I think he needs some, like, real extra oomph, something really unique. Hell, give him 20% more for a targeted unit, so he gives a specific unit 40%, and then no other team stuff, though. I think that'd be actually really cool. I think 40% is fine. That's not going to replace the meta supports, but that'd be super useful for budget regardless. Or hell, you know, if you want to be stingy about it, you can make it 30% or 35% or something, but still, more battery would be good. Maybe Star Bomb or something. Although because of Mozart, maybe not. It'd be hard to make a second skill targetable because of what it does in lore. It's literally called self-preservation. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but low stars need a battery servant anyway. Like, they need something more than 20%. Every single budget battery in the game is 20%. 40% would be awesome though, because then if you had 50% and then you're passive, it'd be enough to get your MP right away with Shakespeare. Or if you just use Demonic. That'd be fair in my opinion. And as such, they're not going to do it. Like, Shakespeare would be so much stronger if he was 40%. Like, that's not insignificant at all. Yeah, or you could use Chin too. That's probably one reason he won't do it is, if he had 40% and the Chin's there with the 10%, they're like, ah, nah, that's too much. They want to give people a reason to roll for the meta stuff. But I mean, they gave out Waiver for free, essentially, so I mean, who cares? Yeah, if you're doing 5-star stuff or whatever, you got plenty of 50% batteries. They're everywhere. But yeah, for low stars, there's not a damn thing. Other than, like, you know, self-charge stuff. So that's not exactly the same. Alright, let's at least do this one more time. We might actually need to do it 2 more times, though. You know what would be busted, though, is if they gave Chin a bigger battery. Like, Chin is already such a good low star, right? Like, he has, like, ridiculously unique utility, and then really solid straight value with damage cut, defense up, targeted guts, crit down, you know, buster up, 10% battery for everybody, right? This is nutty, right? And for like, hey, let's give him a 20% battery for everyone, right? Like, that would just be so silly. And like, I don't mind, you know, there being strong supports for budget, that's fine, but yeah, Chin versus Shakespeare is kind of sad. The only time Shakespeare ever comes out on top is with Poster Girl, and that just should not be required to make him, you know, have his own niche versus Qingong. For low-grade supports though, I feel like Hans is in a really good place, Mozart's in a good place, especially with that second skill buff. Shin's in a good place. Asclepius obviously in a good place. Mash is in a good place. She's actually kind of, you know, cracked. So there's a lot of good low-star supports, but, you know, Shakespeare kind of sucks. Hohenheim is kind of mixed. Like, he definitely is good. It's just, you normally have better things you can bring instead. But he is certainly good for farming, like, no question about that. Because he can clear a wave 1 a lot of the time, and then make someone else hit harder, and then sometimes make looping hilariously easy, that kind of thing. Okay, we got one bonus mob there. Yeah, you could make Shakespeare's Buster on last 2 or 3 turns. That actually wouldn't be so bad. I don't think that'd be busted at all. The only reason to be a little busted is the fact that it's team-wide, so... But that's fine. It's, you know, look at what Mozart does, right? He's over there making 50 stars, doing crit down on his skill, doing 44% art up, right? Like, there's a whole lot going on right there. I think it's okay if Shakespeare gets a nice big kick in the pants there. Honestly, what Hohenheim needs is his NP to have a proper multiplier. It's kind of just dumb the way they did that. I'd say Hohenheim's cooldowns are fine considering how insanely impactful his skills are right now. Like, he is good. It's almost just that his competition's a little better. But he still is good. Like, he gets used. Still, don't have that. Alright. Probably gonna be really casual. Maybe we do a solo just cause. The thing is, if you bring a team though, you could get a free credit on your gray, so we should probably just smash this. You know what, we'll do Qingong though. That Qingong is not, okay, never mind. So that Qingong's not too good on the upgrades. Gray solo, yeah, I guess we could do that. But then Tristan wouldn't get Bond. I want that Tristan NP upgrade. It's so close. Looney Tunes in the background there. Can we just get a new low star though? Honestly, like, yeah, really, they need to fix the low stars that are already in the game, but they've been ignoring them for so long. I don't have a lot of faith in that. And yeah, it is kind of silly though that we haven't gotten a new low star in 2 years. Like, what? There's not a new 3-star anyway. We got let's see, what was the last? What was Nobukatsu the last low star? Although I guess that was about 2 years ago too, actually. Yeah, budget quick support. I don't even get why we don't have that. I don't get it. I just do not understand why we don't have a budget quick support, like on par with Chen, Mozart, all that, and why we don't have a proper single target caster from FP summon. I just, why? Like, why? Why do you have every other class, and then every time you make a single target caster, you make them a 4-star or a 5-star or limited or whatever? Like, why does FP summon give you every role except a DPS caster? Like, why? I just don't get what their logic is. Like, at this point, I swear they're just avoiding it because they want people to roll every time, like, Plot Monk or Ilya or something like that is rated up. Like, they want people to be like, oh man, the rare single target caster. That's kind of cool. Merlin will give the NP buff to both of them. Don't you guys have Scatty? Yeah. Or buff Medea, so she is a proper single target caster. The thing is, like, you need a caster that's like on par with Ushi and that kind of stuff. It'd be hard to make Medea on par with Ushi. She'd have to be buffed like twice. Like, you'd have to buff her NP again, and then not just make it a single target multiplier, but make it an upgraded single target multiplier. And then she needs to get like a really good, you know, skill upgrade, preferably survivability, which I don't think they would give her. But like that's the only way she'd really be on par with like Ushi and crew. So we just need a caster that's got good survival, you know, straightforward with like evade, invulnerability, guts, something like that, and then has, you know, a big upgraded NP and then damage up in their kit. Because people are always like, oh, you know, they don't need an upgraded NP as long as they have damage up. But the thing is, you've got units like Ushi that have a bunch of damage up and have an upgraded NP and have a good damage mod. So it's like, you know, if you just add a caster with some damage up and then no upgraded NP and then no survival, that's still way behind like the competition. At least Medea does have buff removal though, that's targetable. Like that is nice. Oh wait, does Gray have to be in the front or not on the team at all? I think she has to be not on the team at all. Coup bond it is. That means though we're not getting our Gray credit right there. Black Grail on skill 1. It would help. She still wouldn't be as good as like Ku, Ushi, David, that kind of stuff. But I mean that's okay. You don't have to be that good to be useful. Oh, I kind of wish I wasn't cheesing this. Let's see. Do we have Spart? No, we'll have Arash go first. He probably won't break though. I can have them both NP and overcharge Arash. Still probably not gonna break. It might break if I did the Buster up, but I think we're gonna save that. Shame we didn't get the NP up. I mean, you don't have to be an old account to have BB. Someone on Cadrock's stream tried to argue yesterday that Caster 2 and Medea were better single target casters than Babbage because his attack is bad. Yeah, that's, I mean, Ku's fine. It's definitely debatable but that Caster Ku and Babbage are pretty close, but that's just stupid. I mean, it's like, yeah, his attack stat's not great, but he also has a 40% attack up that lasts 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. And he's got a massive crit up and a star bomb and an NP up and an invulnerability. By the way, there's almost no low stars that have invulnerability, so when you're dealing with sure hit, it's really nice for Babbage. And he's also got star. What I really like about Babbage is the fact that his star bomb isn't tied to his star absorb, and his star absorb is on a skill that you can easily pass on if you want to. So if you want to drop a bunch of stars and have someone else crit, no problem. But if you want to have him crit and you want to use the star bomb, it's also no problem. So yeah, he's great. Babbage is phenomenal. I mean, I think we've proven our point with him several times, like when we used him on the 1 to 3 star account. And to be clear, we're using 3-star craft essences as well. And Babbage was just clearly the best option for you and Horsebindo. I mean, his performance there was insane. Like, you're not gonna get that kind of performance out of Medea. Like, there's no world you bring Medea to like those fights, and she does even half as well as Babbage. He does significantly more damage than her, and is AoE-wise at it, right? She does like AoE damage, but only hits 1 person. He's AoE damage, but hits 2 people. And then he also does really big single target damage and gets free crits and has really good survivability. Like, he's great. Now, Ku is debatable though. I will say, Caster Ku is really good now. I don't think he'd be as good for you and Horsebindo, especially with those restrictions, just because Ku, you know, fucks himself up. But Ku's really good because you get basically 2 NPs without having to do a whole lot. Just boom boom, and he's got nice damage up too, and he's got the evade and anti-debuff and that kind of stuff. The only thing that's bad about Ku these days is if you need the anti-debuff and you don't want to kill yourself, it's kind of annoying that those 2 skills are on the same thing. That really was kind of lame. I wish they hadn't done that, or maybe they had made it like optional, like have a menu pop up, like how when you click Emiya's skill it pops up if you want to change the NP type. You really could click the skill and have it pop up, do you want to do the sacrifice thing or not? Yeah, probably more times than not you'll do the sacrifice thing, but every once in a while you won't. And it'd just be nice to have that option, because it does kind of suck that there are situations where you need to just throw out his third skill like on turn 1 because the boss like pre-debuffs you before the fight starts. But then you're like, oh yeah, now I'm sacrificing myself, right? Not the best, right? But overall, Caster Ku is really good. But I would say Babbage, I still think Babbage is, for a DPS caster, I think Babbage is the best one for FP summon, you know. Well, I guess Ku's not FP summon, but, you know, you get him from Fuyuki. But yeah, for 1 to 3 star DPS casters, I think Babbage is the best. But Ku is definitely debatable, and Ku is probably better for farming, because like you can clear 2 waves with him a lot of the time. That's awesome. So yeah, Ku is definitely better for farming. But for straight DPS bossy stuff, I think Babbage is the best, then Ku. And then honestly, Medea's not even on the radar. You don't really use her for that. Like, she's more for just some damage against an assassin, and then like the buff removal, debuff clear and stuff. But if the fight doesn't call for that, she's really not good at all. There's just not nearly enough damage for her to be good. Like seriously, if the boss doesn't do debuffs that are relevant, and they don't have buffs you need to remove that are relevant, like maybe they have buffs you can remove, but they're just not a big deal, she is just not worth bringing. Like, absolutely not. The only way she'd be worth bringing is if like one of the boss's health bars is so tiny that she can break it anyway. So then the fact that she gets her NP so easily is actually like really good. But we're getting awfully specific right there. Where I can think of just endless situations where Ku and Babbage are good. But yeah, I don't think it's crazy to argue that Ku could be considered better than Babbage. But I think it's just stupid to say Babbage isn't good. And like I don't mean to like pull rank on people, but it's like, I don't believe for a second that guy's actually sat down and used Babbage in applicable situations and then compared him to the other casters. People love the theory crap and throw out stupid shit, and there goes the app. But people like to say stuff like that, like saying Ushi's worse than Ricky, or Ricky's worse than Ushi, or Ku's not actually that good, or they like to say these things, but they don't test anything, right? They don't get in there and see, like, okay, let's actually look, how does Babbage stack up in an applicable fight where you're wanting a DPS caster? How does he do against Medea, right? Does he need better supports to pull it off, or does she need better supports to pull it off? Are they equal, or is, you know, what's going, like, I just don't believe for a second that that guy did that, because I know for a fact if you do that stuff, you will clearly see in the data that, you know, Babbage is really, really good. And I don't know a single person out there that actually does hardcore stuff like that actually thinks stupid shit, right? It's like, you know, Ace of Hearts doesn't, you know, think anything. He doesn't think like, oh yeah, Babbage sucks, or you know, Medea's like god tier, right? He doesn't think those things. You know, I don't know anybody that you know gets in there and really you know, has to trial and error and figure out how to beat stuff, you know, and does like the low star stuff. I don't think any of them, you know, have a bad take, because you can't really have a bad take when you actually, you know, see, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like, you see it, you see what's good and what's not good. But yeah, it's just so common that people like to say, oh, this is better than that, and then they have nothing to back it up, right? They're just talking out of their ass, you know, they're just basing it on nothing, instead of getting in there and, you know, trying to figure it out and actually seeing their performance. I mean, that's Alan, obviously, and he put Kappa in it. Of course he's kidding. No, nobody says something so outrageously dumb with Kappa at the end and it's being serious. Unless you're actually quoting someone. Wait, Alan, are you quoting someone? Oh god, you are. He also said Medea's NP is easier to buff stack because Art has better supports. I mean, Arts does have better supports than a lot of stuff, but that's more compared to Quick, right? Because like with Buster's got really good support too, because Buster's for budget has Shingon, which, yeah, sure, most Art's amazing, but so is Shingon, so we're equal here. And for whale stuff, you've got Merlin, Veach, and Oberon all for Buster. And like, yeah, Caster Artoria is better, but that's a pretty minor difference. You're not going to be fighting like you and Horspindo with Babbage and be like, oh no, I just have Merlin. Oh, what am I gonna do? Like, that's not a thing. I'm quite confident if you were throwing the OP supports at it, both Art and Buster could min-turn like those hard stages, right? It's kind of like the OP supports are so broken that it's irrelevant because they're all so overbearing that most bosses are just not gonna do anything. And I've used level 100 Medea plenty, and her damage is still lower than a level 70 Babbage's. I think the worst thing about Babbage is just the fact that he's a bit skill rank dependent, especially on his attack up. Right, you really need that to be upgraded. You want that minimum turn and maximum upgrade. But, you know, that doesn't affect your actual maximum potential as a budget unit, so... How would that even come up, though? Like, who the fuck randomly tries to take down Babbage? Did, like, Kadroth say, oh yeah, Babbage is pretty good now? Did he say that in some of his trailers? No, he's not! I have that happen to me every once in a while, so I can envision it. Guys, can we live in a world where Samson is really good, but then idiots say he's still not, but then I could just use him anyway, and I get to be happy that he's a good unit, right? Can we have that timeline? Because, no, yeah, I didn't think so. Just, if his first and third skill just did something generic on top of the niche, he would be fine, right? Like, if he just got, like, totally straightforward stuff like a one-hit evade on his first skill and like a buster up on his third skill or an attack up for 3 turns on his third skill, he'd be a pretty good unit. Like, yeah, he's not perfect, you know, he's still got some issues with his crappy star gen and all that, but, you know, hey, debuff clear, nice, you know, upgraded NP, defense down, you know, niche that comes up every once in a while, you know, that'd be alright, you know, it'd be actually meta occasionally. Like, yeah, 100 face will be better most of the time, but every once in a while it would make sense to use them, especially against evil. Yeah, evil enemy in any kind of debuffs in the fight, Samson looking pretty good, right? But, yeah, we can't have nice things. Can we do 63k without Merlin's buff here? Should I have Herc or Helena on a new account? That is so unapplicable, right? Like, first of all, that has nothing to do with Babbage. And second of all, those units have nothing to do with each other, right? Like, absolutely not. Those units could not be further apart. The only thing they have in common is they are 4 stars. That's it. Those units could not be further apart. And also, I gotta stress this, especially when you are talking about units like that are so different from each other. Ultimately, what's going to be more useful is going to be based on what that account happens to have, right? Because, like, you might already have some things that are going to really trivialize what Helena can help you with, right? You might have other easy AoE units, or you might be planning on leveling, you know, Rock and Spartacus regardless. Maybe you pick Waver as your P5 star, or you just happen to, you know, get a variety of the units that have team-wide battery. So then Helena's not as good, right? And then maybe you're going to be more focused on doing hard content, and then obviously Herc is insanely good. But maybe you're planning on picking Ku-Alter for your free 5-star, or you don't want to do the hard content, right? And you don't really care about that, and you're not planning on, you know, getting some of the units that have battery on them, or you're not wanting to level Spartacus or whatever, then Helena's, you know, starting to look, you know, more useful. So it just depends, right? But then you happen to pull, you know, this unit, so then Helena's not as good, or you pull that unit and Herc's not as good, right? So just, they're so different. It is completely going to be down to what the account has and doesn't have, and what they're wanting to do and what they don't want to do. I would say Herc is overall better, though, because, no offense to Helena, it's not really hard to replace what she does. Sure, she's nice because she's a pretty good DPS caster, and then she gives you some solid team support on the side. You know, this is quite handy for farming, at least, and she can certainly help kill assassin bosses like you and Horse Bendo and all that. But it's not hard to replace her, right? If you're needing to deal with hard assassin bosses, you do have Babbage and Castraku. There's a lot of options for farming these days, so you don't... Helena's fine, she's a viable option if you want to go that route, but it's not like if you're missing Helena, it's not like, oh no! Where there is a lot of obnoxious-ass content throughout this game, be it challenge quests, main story, or, you know, whatever, that Herc can trivialize that you might otherwise get stuck on, regardless of what else you have on your account, right? Maybe you've got the right niches for it, maybe you don't. So I think actually Herc is definitely better overall, but Helena's fine. I mean, if someone likes Helena, it's not going to be hard to find uses for her. Like, of course not. You know, team-wide buffs are nice, and she has pretty solid damage on her own. Like, totally useful. There's no world where Helena's the best 4-star though. Like that's no. Like she's all right. Like especially since her buff. You know, she's looking all right. Like if I redid the 4-star tier list, she'd go up a bit. But yeah, there's no comparison. Like Herc, some of the nastiest content out there, Herc can help you with so much. Or like that. Yeah, let Helena bail you out on Zeus. Like good luck. Not that she can't be somewhat useful there, but Herc is gonna be way better. Same for Demeter, Aphrodite, you know, like all these other bosses. The only really hard boss that Herc doesn't help that much on, he can help some, but I mean, Ku will help more, is Fluffy. Like, Herc is great for Morgan and all those fights in Lostbelt 6, but Herc is not good for Fluffy at all. Like, the dots and everything, the way that fight works, and with him healing from normal attacks and stuff like that, it's just not a good time for, like, Herc is about throwing out medium damage constantly and living a really long time. But Fluffy is about you need to be able to do massive burst damage and almost nothing else is even remotely relevant. So it's not good. Actually, he's great for Abby. It's actually hilarious. Herc has no problem cleaning up on Abby. Like, he's a better cleanup unit for Abigail than a lot of other units are. Like, he's not the best one ever, but he can easily take like 3 or 4 lives from her. And if he's really upgraded, he might even be able to solo it these days with his 3rd skill upgrade. I wouldn't think so. I think he'd still be a little out of range for that. But the thing is, what you do is before she MPs, you use all of his skills. Like you use his evade early, you use his regular guts early, because you might as well get the survivability out of them because she removed them with her NP. But and because you're using that stuff early, you're not losing your bond CE. And Abigail can't remove Herc's bond CE. And even though she's a foreigner, he still gets enough raw value to do fine there. Like I remember before Herc got buffed, Herc I think could take like 3 lives from her as a cleanup unit. Or something like that, and now that he's been buffed and everything, and now you have faux pas and all that, it wouldn't shock me if he could just fucking solo it. And even if he can't, he'll... There's no world where your team won't at least take a life or 2, right? And Herc will easily be able to clean up what's left. And that really just speaks to how broken he is, because even a fight like Abigail that he shouldn't be good for, he's actually incredibly good for. Like, Fluffy is like the only really hard boss fight that I can think of where Herc doesn't help that much. And he can help some, like he can clean up some, but he's not gonna just wipe the floor with Fluffy. Like that's not gonna happen. But that's like the only one. And let's be honest, Helena is not that good for Fluffy either. They're like, yeah, you can put her in the back row to show up when someone dies to get a little extra support or whatever from your MVP. But there's so many better picks than that, and that there's no world where it's like, oh man, I can't beat this fight, I'm so stuck. Oh, I put Helena on the team, I'm not stuck anymore. It's more like, oh, I'm really close to beating it, maybe if I change around a few things, and Helena is a little bit better than this other thing I'm using. Okay, now it works, right? Like, that might happen, but, yeah, Helena's not that good for Fluffy either, so, like, good fucking luck with that one. But she is good for farming. Like, there is uses for Helena, she's good for farming. It's just, it really isn't hard for a new account to get into a good position with farming with or without Helena, right? It's not that big of a deal. Okay, let's see, where are we with Tristan Bond? Yeah, he's getting there. Oh, we weren't bringing Gray, whoops. I need my my credit here. All right, we'll bring this piece of you know what, we'll do that. Let's see how that goes. I should give him a different craft essence, but I don't think this stage is hard enough to call for that, so... Tristan actually is one of the better 4-stars. I don't think I'm going to update the 4-star tier list video because it's just too much work. I don't know. I'm definitely going to update the 1 to 3-star one because there's less of them and I like them more and I care about them more. But there's been a lot of changes. There has been a lot of changes with the 4 stars since I made that video. And like Tristan, I think is going to be S tier. How would Tristan not be S tier now? I mean, look at him. Like, he is ridiculous. The man does buff removal to the enemies on a decently short cooldown, removes all the debuffs from his teammates, removes his own NP seal debuff, has a 50% battery, has a quick up, has an upgraded NP with armor ignore and sure hit. Like, and, oh yeah, and team-wide evade. Just that little thing. Like, what? Like, how is... Of course he's top tier for a 4-star. Like, that is... Even for farming he's good because he has a 50% battery. Like, fuck me, man. That guy is so broken. He's like every utility ever. And what's crazy is, let's say you're in a fight where you don't need debuff clear. Right? His debuff clear is still useful because it gets rid of his own NP seal. But maybe you're in a setup where you're not going to NP the turn that he NP seals himself. So his debuff clear is doing nothing. You know, the boss doesn't do any debuffs at all. And even if they did, it's like, you know, a pointless debuff you don't care about. So you're getting no value out of his anti-debuff. And let's say the boss doesn't cast any buffs that are all that relevant. And there's actually a lot of bosses like that, where, sure, they'll cast a buff, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, you know, they cast some stupid shit, it's like, whatever. So you're not getting a lot out of his buff removal either. Right, so you kind of just need a straightforward DPS archer. He's still really good because he still has a 50% battery. He still has an upgraded NP. He still has a damage up skill. He still has armor ignore, which that's super good. He still has sure hit. Like he's just... There's no world where he's not one of the best 4-stars in the game. Yeah, I think he'll be at the very highest tier. I think he's absolutely busted. Like, good for farming, good for challenge quests, good for main story, good solo even, for God's sakes, good team player. Good utility. Like, he might even be the highest rated 4-star. We'll see. It's hard to say. Herc is so broken now. Like, it's tough. But yeah, when I think about it, I think Herc and Tristan are probably the 2 best 4-stars right now. Like, that's it's a tough call. Oh damn it! I can't NP on. Keep forgetting about that. Alright, let's see if he can get lucky with his NP gain. I shouldn't have stunned her then, I actually wanted to get attacked. Okay, he's got it now. Just don't kill Spartacus, please. Probably could do Buster, Art Buster, but just make sure. Also, this looks cool. I mean, Fujino is pretty hard to compare because Fujino is so challenge quests. Like, if I was gonna make a tier list, which actually my tier list is this, that's based purely on challenge quests, it's something close, but it's hard to call because Fujino is so good in challenge quests and she's so good at solo and last man standing and even team play. But they're about the same. It's just they're kind of apples and oranges. There's some overlap, obviously, but. And Mash doesn't really count because Mash is Mash. Her rarity doesn't matter. I don't know why people get so fucking anal about Mash. But it's stupid. They're like, oh, rate the 3-star Mash. Do the she doesn't matter. She has no team cost, and everyone has her no matter what. Like, she's not applicable to, like, comparing to, you know, the 4-stars because she's not like a 4-star. Because 4-stars have all, you know, negatives and positives based on how easy and hard they are to obtain, you know, how much weight they have on the team because of their team cost, all of these things. None of that matters for Mash in the slightest, right? So it doesn't really matter where Mash is, you know, rated against stuff. I don't think Sith is half as good as Tristan. Not that Sith is bad, and Sith is totally fine for, like, just straight nuking and stuff, but Tristan is fine for that too. But her utility is just light years behind what Tristan does. Like, it's not even close. I keep seeing people say that they think Sith is better than Tristan, and then they just ignore everything Tristan does. They just look at, like, the battery and like the evade, and that's it. And they act like that's it. It's like, it's all that matters here is like damage. It's like, yeah, but buff removal and debuff clear and armor ignore. Like, there's so many things that Tristan is doing that they just completely ignore that are obviously very relevant, and it's kind of silly. Well, I'm pretty sure Spartacus is about to explode. Speaking of Tristan, our Tristan has not done his NP upgrade, but he'll probably get the job done here regardless. Actually, because I can't do his NP upgrade because we don't have the bond yet. But like, don't get me wrong, you know, Sith is still a perfectly good 4-star, like of course she's fine. But Tristan can do a lot of what she does, and then like when their damage difference is relevant, it's a pretty small margin. Like normally they either both do enough damage or both don't do enough damage. That's generally what's going to happen. But then the utility area, just Tristan is, you know, obliterating her. Let's see. Boy, did she not do anything. I really wish I had already broken, because I don't actually want to cast some of our stuff yet. Why, oh yeah, he has crit down too! Alright, let's see. I guess I just do this. It's not a great time to do the battery. I kind of wanted to NP and then do the battery, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's actually a chance we're going to lose this though, because we're getting horrible RNG. We bought a Lancer, and Tristan's not upgraded, so we might actually lose. I mean, have you not listened to a word I have said? Like, I'm over here talking about Tristan removing every debuff from the team. That obviously includes NP Seal. Like, am I talking to myself here? Jesus Christ. How have we not broken, by the way? Like, between Arash's NP, Spartacus' NP, the Brave Chain, and everything else, like, how have we not broken yet? Oh. Huh. I guess I shouldn't have been saving, I don't remember that happening in Septum, Chad. Do you remember that happening in Septum? I don't think that, happened. Call me crazy. Boy, we could have brought a so much better team for this. Like, this is so unoptimized. It's like, it's ridiculous that Lancer Artoria can't NP, but I didn't give her a 50% starting in PCE. I don't even know why. I thought she... I know I took her off the team and put her back on, so I guess she just had whatever the CE the other person had or something. I don't know. Septum is my favorite Christmas event. Good times, good times. Now imagine if we had done our NP buff. Also imagine if that crit. Oh, she really not liking Tristan there. 98%. After 3,000 years, we can finally NP on Lancer Artoria. This is, we might lose this though, I don't know. It's getting pretty pretty bad, and it's a lot of the units on the team were completely useless. I wish she had hit Tristan there, because he might have gotten his NP from the hit count. Or gotten close anyway. How much damage will we do? If we get our niche, she's actually gonna get wrecked here, but I don't think we get our niche. I don't remember what her alignment is. Oh, Jesus. I think we might have gotten our niche there. I think we got one of them. Well, kind of funny that we won that, considering how bad that team was. Bunch of AoE for a single target boss, and we didn't counterclass much. Pretty sure we got one of our niches there, so. Alright. Probably should have done that again just for fun and like brought an actual team and shown how big the difference would have been.
なかなかいいものを得たようだ。
Some of the songs just have like dead space. It's kind of annoying, and I don't pay attention sometimes. Oh yeah, you can skip the intro, which is actually blasphemy in this event because the intro is good, but I did that on accident. Nothing like 2 stages in a row that are both just story only. Instead of just making one big chapter or arrow. Like, you can have scene switches, guys. It's okay. How far do you have to get Barbatos? I don't remember. Yeah, like, this is what happened to my main. All the stages you unlock over here aren't actual combat stages. They're just story stuff. So I'm not sure there's any, like, big stage that comes with the Plus episode. It's just a fight with Faker, and that's it. And she doesn't even use her NP there. Although she does hit hard as hell, I'll say that. Maybe it's time gated, like the final stage from the Plus episode you can't do until later. Yeah, that's time gated. So maybe we will. Yeah, I bet you we will. There's no way they're gonna not have any real content. That doesn't unlock for a while though. Unless that was like, I think it's at the 18th, but it might have been like, you know, some other bullshit I'm assuming here. Speaking of Babbage, I swear I'm gonna have to make a video for Babbage. If they had a story replay, I would do that. I would just show Babbage in like a lot of fights, and you know, different style of fights. You know, AOE, burst, single target. Pretty much any time you might even think about bringing a caster and just show how good he is and how little help he needs to wreck shit. But he still scales. He still scales great with good supports. I want to do videos like that for a lot of units. Like, I mean, a lot of units. Right, like make like the Jin K video where you kind of go through every fight that she's applicable for, right? And you see how she does. And then you do every fight that like 100 Face is applicable for, right? And you don't necessarily do those back to back, but then you can compare them, you know, that way. That'd be really nice. Oh yeah, obviously we'd use Babbage against you, like clearly. And by that I obviously mean you personally. All 2 fights for Jin K. I mean, we'd use her in the other fights, it's just she wouldn't perform very well. I mean, can we have old boss fights that we can just fight? You know, like Bull of Heaven? That's what I would do if I was to make, every time I make an assassin video, you go through like the usual suspects, right? And at the end of the video, you have them fight Bull of Heaven, right? It'd be great. Yeah, I think this is saying it unlocks on the 18th, so that means there's more story over there. Okay, and this I need to do like missions or whatever. It takes a long time to hit the time gate for the case files, like the main story. And not a lot of it's time gated, which is quite nice actually. But you also have enough time that if you want to just do it with your natural AP, that's not a problem either, so. My only complaint about case files is I wish the side bosses were a little harder. They're hard enough that you can have fun with them, like for sure, but I wish they were just a tiny bit harder. Especially Gwaine, that one was pretty lame, but that was kind of a joke. Just need someone with the spawn CE. Well, not as good as Merlin, but it'll be fine. Chat, it is so surreal to me that we actually have an Armored Core game in the works. Like, I just... I'm so happy about that. And I wanted that for so many years, and I didn't think it was gonna happen, and it's actually happening, dude. Kinda stealing his thunder from Elden Ring a little bit, but I'm still really excited for Elden Ring. Like, that's gonna be a good time. I actually think Rod is better on wave 1 here. And Elden Ring will probably have more replay value and, like, you know, PvP and all that fun. Probably more so than Armored Core. But Armored Core always has PvP. We'll see how... I doubt it's going to be as much replay value in it, though, as Elden Ring. But we'll see. No, we don't have a date. It's just the survey leaked and the screenshots leaked. So, and Miyazaki had talked about it a while ago that they were potentially working on Armored Core, so... But I don't think they're going to talk about it in any serious capacity until Elden Ring is out. Because they don't want to steal Elden Ring's thunder, right? They don't want to cross the streams. They don't want to deal with that. So you know, they want to make sure both games kind of get their own, you know. Because if they announce Armored Core now, a lot of the mainstream fans are just going to ignore it and focus on Elden Ring anyway, right? So there's just no reason to have those two things in, like, around the same area in terms of, like, the media's attention and stuff. I don't know about a strong PvP community. I think it'll be more like, you know, a niche hardcore following. I don't know if it'll be that big or anything, but we'll see. I do think, though, this Armored Core game will have the best chance of having a big player base. A lot more eyes are going to be on it than every other Armored Core game because FromSoft is so big now. I've already seen lots of, like, you know, Dark Souls fans and Bloodborne fans and all that who have never played Armored Core and are saying, oh, you know, I'll check this out. And you know, I've heard about Armored Core, but I've not played it. I want to see it. So I think it has the best chance to have a, you know, mainstream success. So we'll see. I'm gonna be right back. I need to get water and stuff. Give me a second here. Also, Lancer Arturi is not doing too bad on this account. MP5 kind of makes up for her problem. Chat, I've talked about this before, but imagine 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, doesn't matter. Bach, the composer Bach, quick support, get some like organ music when you cast skills and stuff. Oh my god, man, like that'd be so great. I love Bach anyway. The game needs a bunch of quick support really bad. Like, that would be so cool, dude. And then give, you know, Beethoven Buster. I think that feels right. And then, as you do this... Whoa, whoa, whoa! How about this, chat? Why? Okay, we have all these dumbass filler events and stupid shit. Why can't we have an event that's, like, it's like, you know, musical based, right? You have an event, it could be, you know, like a big show, it could be just, you know, whatever. There's so many ways you could go about it. But you add Beethoven and Bach together, right? And then Mozart's part of the event, of course, and he gets an animation update, right? And then, of course, Antonio gets to be in the event too, make him a bonus. So it'd be great, right? Good shit. But no, not gonna have it. I mean, generally, I find open world games incredibly boring. They don't take advantage of the open world at all. They have the size of an ocean with the depth of a puddle. And it's just like a checklist of boring activities to do. I feel like these suck. Like, now, I'm generalizing, and there are some open world games that I think are really good. And I'm hoping Elden Ring is going to be good. And it looks like Elden Ring is not doing a lot of the stuff that I don't like in open world games. But the majority of open world games I find to be very dull and completely wasting the potential of the genre, but that's because it's hard to live up to the potential of the genre because you need to make a lot of art assets and a lot of, you know, lots of content. You have to make lots of content, and that's hard to do on the development side, so. But there are a few open world games here and there that I have enjoyed. But it is, on average, it is one of my least favorite genres, to be honest. Yeah, Ubisoft is like exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like the way they do open world just sucks. That's the staple, man. It's just like a bunch of bullshit on a map. A bunch of generic events that don't mean anything on a map. Terrible AI. Like terrible AI. And there's a chance that Elden Ring is gonna suck, right? Like, I think Elden Ring has a bigger chance of sucking than a lot of the other games just because it is open world and there is a lot of pitfalls in open world games. And I haven't watched the network tests because I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but everyone that, I've seen so many people that have played it that say, oh, it's great, and, you know, it doesn't have a lot of the problems that typical open world games have. But, no, I'm not assuming they're doing this, but, like, for all you know, only the network test is good. That's like the one part of the world that's properly flushed out and was well designed, right? For all you know, everything outside of the network test is going to be barren, boring, repetitive, copy-pasted crap. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, and I don't think that's going to happen, but it could happen, and if it does, fuck them, so we'll see. Like, I think FromSoft is actually a great developer to make an open world game because I think they're going to have the right mindset for it. I think if they fuck up, though, it's going to be because they didn't have enough manpower and time to, like, create enough assets, enough enemies, enough unique loot, enough unique dungeons, right? Like, if something goes wrong, that would definitely be it. Didn't quite kill on that one. Am I the only one? I can't even remember the last time I, like, cared about video game reviews. I don't even know what, like, IGN's opinion was on, like, any game in, like, the last 5 years. Like, I stopped caring about games media so long ago. These suck. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're mostly people that aren't even good at video games or don't understand video games. They're also in, like, so much quid pro quo with game developers, right? Like, these suck. Now, there are some, like, individuals on, like, YouTube or whatever that make, like, video reviews and stuff that I like, and I watch those sometimes. You know, they give, you know, in-depth opinions. Maybe I agree or disagree with them, but, you know, they're somewhere useful, where, like, the mainstream reviews and stuff, they're not worth anything. I literally don't care what IGN gives Elden Ring. Like, I literally don't care. I wouldn't even think, like, when the game comes out and I'm playing it and everything, I wouldn't even think to go check IGN's channel or website to see what they gave it. I wouldn't even cross my mind. I have no idea what they gave Dark Souls. Not a clue. I don't give a shit. I don't respect their opinion. But I literally just don't respect their opinion. So what do I care if they gave it a 6 or a 10 or a 9 or, you know, 7.5? It doesn't matter. I obviously haven't watched the boss fights, but my assumption is, and I'm just guessing, and if I'm wrong, don't tell me. And if I'm right, don't tell me, because I'm sure some people here have played the network test or watched it. I presume there's going to be a lot of, like, bosses that really aren't bosses. They're like mini bosses, right? And like little side dungeons and stuff. I'm expecting a lot of that. And then when you fight real bosses, like in the big dungeons and stuff like that, those are going to be more in depth, right? But what I'm probably going to do is just kind of keep my weapon upgrade down a little bit, keep my level down a little bit, before I move on with an area, right? When I'm in an area, I'll try to kill all the side bosses there, make sure I'm not overstatting them, right? And then when I go to move on to the next area, then upgrade my stats a bit. That's probably how I'll address that, because they might have good movesets, but bad stats. But yeah, we'll see. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to make a lot of like bosses that they're boss in like name only, right? Like they're more like a tougher trash mob. I'm kind of expecting some of that. But then like major bosses, you know, in like the big dungeons and stuff. But who knows? We'll see. All right, we need to beat more missions. Let's see. That's funny. We had no missions here earlier, but now we have a bunch. So I guess we could have just kept doing that one. We were getting credit for that later. I know we need to do this one. I just remember you need to get Babbage bots. And stuff. So those two look like the best two to do right now. And in this one, most of these enemies will get in other areas, except for maybe like the Panther baddies. Let's do this one. Do you think the story lore of the Souls games is good? Most of them. Like Dark Souls 1's is great. It's not told particularly well. It's so obscured. And like FromSoft normally does kind of obscure the lore where you have to dig for it a bit and kind of put it together, but they kind of went too far with Dark Souls 1, and I think it was an accident. I just think because of rush development or whatever, it just didn't, like if you look at how they've done their storytelling in Armored Core and Kingsfield and stuff like that, they normally give you a little bit more to chew on up front and then like some nuance to dig into, where Dark Souls was like, it was so nonsensical unless you dug around super hard. So I think that was just an accident. But the story that's actually there, I think, is really good. Dark Souls 2 is kind of just made up crap to be tacked on, which there's some cool NPCs and stuff, but the actual story is not particularly good. Same for Dark Souls 3, really. Now, there's some interesting metaphors and stuff like that Miyazaki put in there, kind of connecting to its actual development and that kind of stuff. That's pretty interesting. But like Armored Core like 4 and Armored Core for Answer, I think are great stories. I think they're fucking great, like super good. And Dark Souls 1 was pretty good, and stuff like that. So yeah, generally I think From does a good job. I don't think they hit the nail on the head every time. I definitely think sometimes they, you know, are like kind of but yeah, we'll see. I know nothing about Elden Ring. Like I said, I have not looked at the network test. I've only seen PvP stuff. That's all I've seen. I haven't looked at any of the item descriptions. I have actually seen 2 bosses because I guess like in the open world there's some roaming bosses or something, because in a lot of the PvP clips there's these 2 bosses that just pop up all the time, right? So there was just no way to watch PvP without seeing those 2 bosses. Now obviously I saw it from a PvP perspective, so they weren't like fighting the boss, so I don't like know the boss's moveset or anything, but like that was kind of unavoidable. But yeah, I don't know anything about the story, so I'll judge it when I play it, and like maybe it'll suck, maybe it'll be good. You know, we're over here in FGO though, and you want to talk about inconsistent storytelling. You know, we've got a game here where we've got like, you know, Lostbelt 5, pretty cool story, but then we've got Septum, one of the, you know, worst stories ever, right? And you have a lot of also mediocrity in a lot of the other stories, and a lot of the events are just phoned in, you know, filler really, and they're kind of silly. So yeah, the consistency over here is all over the map. But there is some every once when Fate really nails it, it's like untouchable, right? But it just doesn't get to that point very often. They only hit their peak occasionally, but it is really good when they do. Like man, you know, Lostbelt 5-2, man, that was awesome. Fucking from both gameplay and story and like setting. And like Fate Zero is awesome. Fate's awesome. You know, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but yeah, there's still London and Septum and, you know, all that stuff. Lostbelt 3, I wasn't too crazy about. What do you think are the points where Fate peaked? I mean, pretty much what I just said. Fate 0, Fate Strange Fate. Then for FGO 5-2, and Lostbelt 5-2, I would say that's the good shit. Obviously though, Fate Strange Fate's not finished, and they could drop the ball hard. Like the next book could come out and it's dog shit, right? It could have like ridiculous plot points, you know, really characters not staying true to themselves. Like I see that a lot, like in lot of video game stories where characters will they don't really have a character, right? They have like a vague personality, like they have a personality, but like their motivations and goals or like how they behave is not consistent, and it changes based on what the story needs. Like they'll, you know, 1 second they'll behave in a certain way, but then the plot needs to move a different way, so they act a little bit differently. You know, they're just like they're plot devices. They're not. And yeah, I think a lot of mainstream games have that problem, like where they don't really make good characters and then stick to what that character is. Because what will happen is they'll make a character, and then that character's personality or goals or motivation or whatever will get in the way of what they need to have happen. They're like, oh, well, that character wouldn't act that way. Well, we'll just have them act slightly differently because we need the plot to move that way. So fuck it. Like, that happens all the time. And Fate does that. Like, Fate absolutely does that. It depends on the writer, but they'll throw shit out the window to just, you know, arbitrarily. And here's an example. Even though I like Fate Zero did this. It's not entirely their fault, and I suspect Fate Zero would not have done this if Fate Stay Night didn't kind of trap them, because Fate Stay Night had said some things about, you know, Fate Zero, you know, in advance that they had to live up to. And so one of the Fate Stay Night had said that Artoria did not learn Gilgamesh's identity, right? And so this is a really good example because they're trying to act like it's in character, but it's not. So, you know, Gil has, and every other story Gil's in, Gil is never shy about his identity. What does he give a fuck? He doesn't give a fuck about the Grail rules. The Grail's his anyway, right? He doesn't give a shit, right? And he's literally the king of the world. So, you know, he could not be any less shy about his identity. He never hides his identity. But because they said in Fate Stay Night that Artoria didn't know who he was, and they wanted the dramatic reveal in Fate Stay Night, because Fate Stay Night was made first, and they wanted, you know, they had like that moment where they figure out who he is, and it's, oh shit, right? So they just said they never learned it in Fate Zero, right? But Fate Zero wasn't a story back then. So, but then you have in Fate Zero, right, where Iskandar's bragging like, I'm the king, I'm Alexander the Great, what are you gonna do? But there is no world where Gilgamesh is like, oh, if you don't already know who I am, you're not worthy to hear it. That's so stupid. That's like such a vague way to try to connect to his pride, to try to act like it's legit. That's not legit at all. There's no world where he lets Iskandar like upstage him like that. Like, no, like, are you kidding me? Like, Gil is at least self-aware enough that he would know a third party that sees, you know, Alexander the Great, you know, sitting there, big man, you know, not shy to show his identity in a war that you're supposed to hide your identity, and then you reveal such a huge name, right? I mean, Alexander the Great is one of the most famous people in history, right? And then this other guy says, yo, no, I'm too cool to show my name. No one would be like, oh yeah, that guy's the cooler one. Like, no, everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, Alexander's the real winner in this moment, right? Gil would never stand for that. Like, of course not. You know, he's gonna want to show off the Dyrmid and all the masters and Artoria and all that. He's not gonna be like, oh yes, you don't know who I am, you're not worthy. Like, what? Like, that was so crap. Now again, it's not entirely Fate Zero's fault, because, you know, Fate Stay Night had kind of just said, oh yeah, Toria never figured it out, and they never knew that scene was going to happen, right? So they were kind of trapped. But yeah, that's like an example of like twisting a character and trying to make it seem like it's in character, but it absolutely is not. And it's just an excuse to, you know, make the story move in the way that they want. Now, the alternative is you could have just had Artoria not be present there, and then have Gilgamesh reveal his identity, and she just wasn't there for it. But, you know, they wanted that scene. They wanted most of the servants being there all at once, and, you know, they wanted all that nonsense. So, yeah, cart before the horse a little bit. But well, that's not exactly cart before the horse, because, like, I kind of buy that, like, you know, Dyrmid and Artoria fighting first is fine, and that would attract the attention of the others. And, of course, this Iskandar is just gonna, you know, bring attention to himself. Right, like, I buy all that stuff, and, you know, because of what was going on with, I forgot Lancelot's master's name. I know he's a Moto, and all that, but I forgot what his actual name is. Anyway, you know, of course he would send, you know, Lancelot after Gilgamesh and everything. So I buy all of that. I buy all of that. It's just the fact that they're kind of trapped with the Artoria thing, so. I don't know, they could have had Lancelot hit Artoria with a phone pole so she was knocked out or something right before Gilgamesh blurted it out, but that'd be kind of stupid too. Yeah, remember when Tokiomi was Lancelot's master? Remember that, guys? Actually, that probably would have worked out decently well, actually. Lancelot's not that hard of a berserker to get along with, really. I mean, Toria did get, you know, kind of fucked up, but that was later. And Tokiomi did not know how to work with Gilgamesh in the slightest. He also underestimated his own servant, but he didn't know his abilities that well, so... A lot of mistakes were made there. Tokiomi was pretty well designed though, because again, Fate Stay Night had set a few things in stone. So, you know, they had to have Gilgamesh's original master, you know, die and not, not have Gil stay loyal to him, you know, because they had already said in Fate Stay Night that Gil was someone else's servant, and Kodamine lost his servant, and then they teamed up, right? They already established that. But they made Tokiomi the kind of character that you know, it makes sense that he didn't use Gilgamesh properly, and, you know, he was kind of boring, and, you know, like all that kind of stuff. He was such a typical mage, such a, you know, all that stuff. That worked, right? And Tokiomi wasn't very detailed in Fate Stay Night, so it was kind of easy to craft his character in a way that fits the story, but also felt natural. So that worked out pretty well for them. All these fucking Artorias on a team right now. Waver had summoned Gil. Oh, that would have been a weird one. Actually, Gil would probably get along with Waver ultimately, because Gil is a very good judge of character. Like Gil or not, this is an ongoing thing with all the Fate stories. Gil is very good at like understanding people on a very deep level and not just like falling for their surface level persona. That's like a thing that he does. He like really understands people. And so he, you know, yeah, he's gonna like kind of laugh at Waver's, you know, upfront problems, but like the actual, you know, like growth that Waver gets throughout the war and everything, you know, Gil would, you know, understand and, you know where he's coming from and everything. And he does respect Waver, for God's sakes, at the end of Fate Zero. That's why he doesn't kill him, which is like shocking. So, but that was actually in character for, cause that's the thing, they could have killed Waver, right? At that point, Waver wasn't like this big established character in the Fate franchise, so they could have had Gil kill Waver there, absolutely. But it was completely in character for Gil to, you know, spare him there. But yeah, ultimately Gil and Waver would probably get. Now, I don't think Gil and Waver would get along once Gil, like, gets mudded, you know, gets a little crazy, and then also drinks the Potion of Youth, just because he's younger in Fate Stay Night. Gil is younger in Fate Stay Night than he is in Fate Zero. So he's slightly corrupted, so he's a little unhinged, and then he's younger, so he's kind of a, you know, a dumbass. That version of Gil I don't think would get along with Waver, but if it was like Fate Strange Fake or Fate Zero Waver, because those are essentially the same character, because they're both uncorrupted and they're both older, I think they would eventually get along. I don't know if they get along immediately, but wasn't really out of respect for Waver's will. It was more like, you know, respect for how loyal he was to his Kandar, and his Kandar was worth a damn. And then he sees that Waver sees that his, you know, his Kandar is worth a damn, so. And again, Gil doesn't care about the Grail War at all, so. But yeah, like just in that little interaction with Waver, you know, he's able to know like everything that's gone on with Waver and like, you know, what he's about and what, you know, what he's, you know, that he, you know, he's become steadfast and all these things, and he is still loyal to his Kandar like he's supposed to be. And it's in Gil's mind, his Kandar is someone worthy of loyalty, right? But yeah, like even like Emiya and Shiro, Gil understands them completely. He knows exactly what's going on with like Shiro's, you know, mental gymnastics and all that stuff. He's got it, and that's like it's in his character material. Gil just has like the ability to like read people and like size them up very quickly. The thing is, the orphan basement wasn't Gil's idea, that was Kodamine, and Gil didn't need it. Gil specifically says this in the visual novel, that Gil did not need the help of Kodamine to stay in the world. He's just flattering Kodamine. Like, oh, you're helping me, but he can stay in the world on his own, because one, he has independent action at a really high rank, and then he has Gate of Babylon, which doesn't even take mana, and he's got a bunch of bullshit items in it, and there's probably items in it that can make mana or drain mana, or probably just has mana potions and, you know, that kind of stupid shit. And he even says that. He says if he kills Shiro, Gil can keep Artoria in the world if he wants to. Right? So Gate of Babylon just has stupid crap in it that, you know, can do whatever he wants. So, but yeah, he was just humoring Kodamine. So yeah, Kodamine is just, you know, a sadistic bastard. So that's all him. Yeah, if it was Waver and Gil and then, you know, all that nonsense, the orphan thing would have never happened. So. Yeah, he's basically incarnated by the mud, but he still needs some mana to like activate Gate of Babylon. The items inside of it don't take mana, but he can still use mana. He doesn't need it, but he can still use it. Like he can fill up his items with mana so they explode and stuff. And again, activating Gate takes mana, but all the items inside do not. But he still has uses of mana for various things, and that's why the orphan thing. But yeah, he said he could do it on his own, so which is not hard to believe. Like when you have every noble phantasm in human history, it's pretty easy to buy that he's got items in there that are going to be mana related or whatnot. Shiro's pretty obnoxious, but I think a big thing that drives people crazy about Shiro is the plot armor. It really is. It's the fact that he's so stubborn and stupid and short-sighted and, you know, all these things, and he almost never pays for it. And yeah, there's all the bad endings, but like those aren't really shoved in your face, right? Everyone sees the main stuff, and there's just so much plot armor bailing him out from his own stupidity, right? And I don't think anybody really likes that when you have a character that deserves to be punished for their bad decisions, but then they don't. And Shiro is just so much of that. Also, I just find him kind of boring. I mean, how many chat really get real? How many Japanese protagonists in, like, you know, anime, visual novels, you know, video games, you know, from Japan? How many like self-sacrificing hero complex main characters are there? I mean, holy shit. There's so, I don't care, right? There's no world where I think Shiro is some awesome, unique, amazing character, right? At least 4, yeah. Alright, so we only need the Babbage bots now. I think there's another stage later that has Babbage bots, so we might continue killing those in that stage. Shiro, though, does have... I don't, like, universally hate Shiro. I kind of just hate how hyped he is. He does have a few moments where he's got, like, some witty dialogue and whatnot that's actually pretty funny. Like, some of his quips against Kodamine in the Fate route are pretty funny and stuff. Like, I don't, like, totally hate him, but I don't hype him at all. I think the barometer for villains is completely different because, I mean, it depends. Like, if a villain does something stupid, like, you know, they rush... Actually, I think villains can be worse about this, because, especially main villains, because they always want to save the main villain until the ending. So they're just not going to get fucked up, you know, in the meantime. So you can have, like, let's say it's a mecha, you can have, like, the main villain, you know, make a really dumb tactical decision and go running off into some battle that they should get their ass kicked in, but then just miraculously, oh, they're so skilled, guys, they're fine, right? Like, that stuff is stupid. It's like, oh, I ran into a 1v90 and I'm untouched because I'm just so scary, guy. Like, okay, that stuff is just fucking stupid. You know, that's just plot armor through and through. You know, you could be like, you know, the Red Baron is still gonna get his ass kicked if he flew into a 1v90, right? Like, this doesn't work that way. Why did I just use Artoria's Buster Up? Well, I guess Artoria's doing wave 2 here. Whoops. I mean, really, Shiro's motives actually don't change that much. It's more like his opinion changes, or like he's still got the same route in every route, and he's still an idiot in every route. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm not going to put words in anyone specifically in their mouth specifically, but I think a lot of people, I think a lot of the overall hype for Shiro just comes from people read it when they were teenagers, or watched it when they were teenagers, and just, you know, Hiro's story, see it from his perspective, and he, you know, does cool shit, so like, oh, Hiro's the best, right? I think that's a lot of it. Now, that's not everybody, of course not, but I do think that's a good chunk of people that think Shiro is the bee's knees. He doesn't have starting NP, damn it, what have I done? Well, this probably isn't gonna go well, at least we got a buster chain. Yeah, I think Veach got away with too much, and she didn't really earn it. I don't think she earned really anything that she had, and the plot was just kind of holding her hand the whole time. She always felt pretty contrived to me. Yeah, I honestly didn't really like anything with her. Everything with her felt stupid. And she always survived. Yeah, even though her plans didn't always like work, but she'd always survive. And the plot would always lead her to where she'd have like opportunities to get stronger and stuff. It just felt kind of stupid. Like I honestly, I think like Lostbelt 3 should have been the end of her, like logically. Yeah, I think villains can be really bad about plot armor. I think, you know, obviously the main character is normally the worst, but I think a lot of villains can get absurd plot armor. It's like, when was the last time a side character beat a main villain, right? Like, Jesus Christ. I think generally the most legit characters in a story in terms of, like, not getting plot armor, they get the reverse of it, though. They sometimes get shafted, and they get plot armored on. But it's side villains, right? Side villains are normally plot armorless, which is rather refreshing. But yeah, they get bitch slapped by the plot armor, unfortunately, fairly often actually. So if you like side villains, it can actually be a pretty painful experience. And then grunts just get fucked. I can think of like 2 shows ever where grunts got any kind of recognition and felt like real people. Right? One of the anime, I don't even remember the name of it, but like Gundam Unicorn does a pretty good job. Obviously, none of the grunts in Gundam Unicorn are going to actually kill the main villain or the main protagonist, but these still threw them a bone, and they made that not only do the grunts accomplish stuff, and they even have fight scenes that are just grunts versus grunts, which is awesome. But the pilots felt unique. They really did a good job at that. The pilots for the grunt suits in Gundam Unicorn don't all feel the same. They're not just like clones. They're not robots. Some of them are aggressive. Some of them are defensive. Some of them are all ranged. Some of them you can clearly tell are like newbies and aren't very good. Some of them are like old war vets and are kicking ass, right? They really did a good job at that with the grunts in Gundam Unicorn, and I really like that. And it makes the fights feel like, you know, more vibrant. And there was this other show that I don't, what the fuck was it? I use music from it like occasionally. It's got like Horizon in the name, but I don't remember the name of it. It's fucking stupid anime. Like it's fan servicey and like just nonsense plot. But they would just randomly have grunts like just kick so much ass. I have no idea why. I feel like the creator of it must have just randomly, I don't think that's the name of it. I think it's longer than that. But I feel like the creator of that just like randomly liked grunts or something, because they would just occasionally just start beating everyone's asses and like doing really well or putting up really good fights and stuff. I remember there was a character that used like money as their power, but I know that's pretty vague because that happens a lot. There were mechs in it, there were witches in it, there was someone that punched shit. I honestly don't, the Pope was a villain because the Pope is always a villain. I couldn't really tell you any other plot point other than that though, but Batman. It's pretty funny. But anyway, it had good grunts, so that was nice. No, it's not Stray Dogs. Nothing win in Stray Dogs. How anything I just said, how could any of that apply to Stray Dogs? Are you kidding? Like that. What the fuck? Like, yeah, there's a guy that uses money, but there's no grunts doing shit. There's no witches. There's no evil pope. Like, nothing I just said is applicable there, especially the grunts. I don't even remember grunts really even being in Stray Dogs, and if they are, they just like get one shot all the time. Yeah, and there's definitely no mechs in that either. Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, that's probably the Roman, like the English name. I don't think I ever saw the English name, but that's long enough that that's probably it. And like really, like Otto is probably right, because like if anyone actually goes down the checklist, I don't think there's a lot of anime that has someone that uses money as a power, there's giant mechs in it, evil pope, witches, like I don't think this, and punchy people. I don't think a lot of anime actually get all those checkboxes, to be honest, so. Like, it's getting awfully specific. But yeah, there were grunts in that actually were competent, so that was nice. But that's the only two anime that come to mind that have competent grunts. Let me think, is there anything else that I feel like has competent grunts? Let me think about this. I can think of things where like side characters do well, but not so much grunts. I don't, Team Rocket, yeah, right. That doesn't count as grunts, by the way. Yeah, I don't got anything. That's the only thing I can think of. The best I can think of would be like something like Bakano, where it doesn't really have grunts for them. I did a little bit, but not much. It's mainly just a lot of side characters. But the few grunts that are in Bakano still just get wrecked, so it's kind of same-o, same-o. I've actually never seen Hero Academy, which is weird because I know it's so popular. I have not even seen a single episode of it. And the main reason is because the main character looks stupid to me. I don't, like, he's a kid. I don't want a show where I'm following a fucking kid around all the time. That's, I don't care, right? But I'll just have to try it one of these days because it is such a popular anime. Fucking walk. You know what? We'll take that art up. I don't think the Rah it's kind of the same as Bakano, where it doesn't have a lot of grunts, and the few that are in it are just going to get, you know, cannon fodder anyway. And it's just a lot of side characters and doesn't really have a main cast, so it's not really the same thing. You know, a grunt is someone that's unnamed. You know, they're just like, you know, a SWAT guy or a knight, you know, that's guarding the king randomly, or, you know, whatever. You know, the Leos in Gundam Wing, right? The Zaku's and regular Gundam, right? Like, they're not characters, they're just unknown people that are on the battlefield or whatever, right? You know, grunts, you know, cannon fodder. And, yeah, most anime does not ever give a fuck about that kind of character, so. And a big part of it, actually, is budget. Because it's not, animating anyone to be competent means more work. And because, you know, yeah, sure, it might make a battle scene better, or it just, I don't really remember if Code Geass had good grunts. I don't really think so. You know, again, a lot of side characters that maybe perform well, but I don't remember any nameless grunts ever putting up like a competent fight against anything. I'm pretty sure anytime a nameless grunt ever fought a named character, they got chopped to pieces, and like, you know, it didn't matter which side they were on, right? The named good guys would just floor the antagonist grunts, and then the named antagonists would just floor the protagonist grunts, right? And that's like what basically always happens, right? Is like the grunts are just useless and they never have any effect on the battle. It's not like, you know, they don't swarm anybody, they don't, you know, they don't get anything done under any circumstance. They're actually, okay, Gundam Seed is terrible about grunts. Grunts are always awful in Gundam Seed, except for like randomly there's grunts in like the second season that like completely body one of the antagonist Gundams. I don't even know why, but just like randomly these nameless grunts, like there's like 3 of them, and they just like absolutely butcher one of the antagonists like named Gundams. They like cut them in fucking half. I'll take it, but I have no idea why that happened. That was super random, but that it kind of worked though, because the pilot of that suit was always kind of shown to be incompetent, so I didn't really mind. Alright, we've done, what, 42 out of 100? We still got a good ways to go then. Like 43. And it's like, you don't, I'm not like asking for like grunts to like, you know, be killing the main villain or anything, but like, having them feel like real people that actually care about their own well-being or the well-being of their team. And then also, like, you shouldn't have like a villain that can just 1v 1,000, right? That's boring. Don't do that, right? So like, if a character does get in a situation where they're, you know, cornered and, you know, massively outnumbered, but it's all grunts, that should actually mean something, right? It shouldn't just be like, oh, I just snap my fingers and they all die, obviously, right? Like, that's just silly. Okay, these are starting to be like actual stages, so let's take this a little bit more seriously. Iron-Blooded Orphans didn't have that good of grunts. Like, they're maybe a little bit better, but it was generally like, again, the protagonist named characters would wipe the floor with the antagonist grunts, and the antagonist named characters would wipe the floor with the protagonist grunts. That was pretty much, that's how most Gundam are, right? There's only a few Gundam series that aren't like that, and Unicorn is a massive exception, but even some of the other UC ones did a bit better with their grunts. UC actually probably does the best with grunts, generally. Alrighty, what are we gonna use here? So Lance, what event is this? Is this the Kentucky event? They've used that background for several things. I have no idea what this is, honestly. Not a damn clue. Which makes it kind of hard to, you know what, we'll just do Burger Mom then. There we go. That's a nice generic, thing, although she's only got 2 burn command codes and we're not soloing, but we could solo for the fun of it, but I really want to bring Gray and Tristan every time possible right now. Obviously they're handicapping the hell out of the team, but gotta get that done. Oh, he's almost there, because I think his bond 3 to 4 is pretty short, so he's getting there. And I think she needs to make it to bond 4, I think, and you have to use her 20 times or 15 times or whatever. But yeah, most shows don't have good grunts because it's not worth the budget. Like, straight up, it's not worth the animation effort to have them like put up a fight, or to not just be one shot, or to feel like real human beings, right? Oh, we'll do the old Ushi. And then, do that, and then a Saber. There we go. Pretty small team, but because of my back row, it's kind of inevitable. Hopefully this has enough oomph. She's level 1, so she's not gonna do a damn thing. I don't know why they give you that message for... It's them telling you that the CEs won't be lost if you lose the temporary unit. Why do you need to say that? You would need to say the opposite of that if it was true. It's so beyond me that the, every time you equip something to a welfare, it has to bring up that stupid message. It's so unnecessary. The fact that that message pops up probably makes people think that you might lose them. That's the thing, like that message does way more harm than good. I don't remember you ever fighting this in any event ever. Like what? Alright, let's see. I guess it's, the whole point is supposed to be warped, right? Because case files, but still. No, the other ones only land. The other, that's the stage above. Let's see here. I think we wait to taunt. You know what? Fire everything. Damn it, George. Well, banana only on our side, apparently. Yeah, let's delete here. Yeah, a lot of the case files, like, you kind of twink things a little bit. So they're seeming to like using like the event variants of service instead of their normal self. I think this is the Kazoki event, or something like that. It's one of those. I remember you fight like Benkei instead of Ushi, right? Like they switched that whole thing around for Babylon. Do I care about NP gain this much? I guess. Maybe I should have waited one more turn to talk. George is kind of taking all of the NP gain now. She's actually a dragon, guys. Did you know that? How you doing, Tom? This would have actually been kind of fun to solo with Burger. Best. You could probably do it. The issue would be the amount of NPs that come your way. Okay, I'm pretty sure she's single target off memory. I would hope so, otherwise we're about to make a huge mistake. Oh, I don't have burn. Thankfully I can apply burn. I was gonna say, we have not burned the banana. We'll do that now. Can do Buster Buster to make sure it doesn't get guarded or something stupid, but looks like we got it. Everyone's a dragon and everyone's Roman. Maybe I should have just attacked shooting at her. Probably could have killed her. But it was nice to get the burn, so. Doesn't she have like 3 different cut-ins right there or whatever? I think she at least has 2. One per ascension? Okay, so she has 3. Hi, Cairo, how you doing? Oh, I missed your raid, excuse me. Put the water guns down. Okay, so if Bedivere got smacked here, this should kind of be the worst thing, which is a good reason why I should have attacked Shootin'. Let's see here. It's a lot better to evade Burgess because Burgess is like clearly going to be enough value to win the stage no matter what happens. But it would kind of suck to have Bedivere just get NP'd and die. I mean, maybe Burgess could survive it if she had this up, maybe, but I think we give it to Burgess. It's just logical that way. Bedivere didn't get any cards anyway. Not for NP gain. What a silly team we have. Alright. Well, it didn't matter anyway. We didn't really need a rider anymore. Yeah, I forgot about that. Boy, does Tristan not do a lot here. But this is balanced as fuck. You know, he doesn't have his NP upgrade right now, Tristan. But we'll do more damage than we need to here anyway with the Bedivere buff. We're getting so close to getting that Tristan buff though. I think we need like after, once he gets his bond, like bond 3, I think we need like 2.5k and that's it. So he's very close. Oh, now Bedivere gets stuff. This probably would have been a lot faster with the Burgess solo, but this is in no way the stage I thought it was gonna be, so. I didn't know what the hell it was gonna be, but definitely not this. She really likes saying that. Awfully, Canis of her. We don't even need our NPs. So dead. Yeah, Bedivere doesn't have a skill level discount yet, but we're doing an event, so I don't want to waste the AP. And honestly, he doesn't need it. Like, he just, it's so... Like, yeah, it's a nice buff, but you almost will never need it. Normally, like, Bedivere is going to either work or not work with or without it, so... He's over here doing, like, 200k on his own, or whatever. And none of these setups need the NP gain buff. But in the long run, you want to get it. But I haven't played this account in a really long time, so I'm pretty behind on a lot of the newer buffs and such. Let's see here. Let's see, that's Oni land. This, is that the summer one? I can remember that one bit with that background. They've used that background a few times. What's a fun unit to use here? There we go. I haven't used him in ages, actually. Are there trash mobs, though? Was he an event servant originally? Because I know you got Faker here now, and that's one thing, but I know Alex was, like regular, like little Alex was, but was Big Iskander an event servant last year? Like, he might have been just because Alex was part of the event, but I don't remember. Alright, we need to bring Gray. And we need to bring Tristan. Let's see, okay, these story stages don't give a whole lot of bond, though. Surely this will work, right? I don't even know why I'm bringing Lancer Artoria, but maybe there's more Berserkers than, Riders. Or casters, excuse me. Stop doing that, game. He had an event bonus last year. That makes me kind of sad. It would be cool if they had like something new like that, but they rarely do that kind of thing for a rerun. Iskander got rated up a little while ago. He did like the rotating banner and he got a solo right up in there, which was nice. I'm sure somebody rolled. Okay, I don't really need to Stella this though, like these are so weak. Don't really need to art chain either, but fuck it, might as well. How do y'all feel about his animation update? I think it's definitely better than his original animations, but I don't feel like it was one of their best ones. Like, especially the NP, I just think it'd be so much better, but I don't think they want to put the effort in, which sucks because he really deserves to be like top notch. Really, I think they've really messed up with him because he is, I don't think they even realize just how popular he is. He is so fucking popular, and it's kind of too late to build off that hype now. So like, if he was like when he was first added, was, you know, more prominent, maybe a little stronger gameplay wise, I think they would have got a lot more out of him there. Also, when he was added though, the game was a lot smaller, right? There was a lot less players back then. And then when he was added later, his animation update wasn't so good. It hasn't really had a lot of rate ups. He's got an okay toolkit, but it's not like the best. So I think if they had like added him at a better time when FGO was already more popular, came out with better animations, better gameplay, you know, good solid rate up, I think he would have made them a lot more money. Yeah, I think his sprite looks good. I think his sprite is aged just fine, but I think his attacks could be a bit better. I don't mind his normal attacks too much. It's mainly the NP that it's like, yeah, it could be a lot better. Alright. That's a lot of Raiko. That's about to get shot in the face, but yeah, I do see that the caster part of this is fairly irrelevant. Maybe we save Ushi's NP. That depends on how much damage we think we're gonna do here. Who's gonna do more? It might be Arash, because he's gonna get overcharged. It's definitely Arash if I do Ushi's NP first, but I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. This is a tough call, because it's 70 versus 90, and 1-star versus 5-star, and his Kandar has more self buffs, but Arash has got a better multiplier, and he's got the overcharge. Actually, what is Alexander, his overcharge? Let me look. I forgot. I haven't used him in quite a while. His overcharge is bigger defense down. That means, oh, and crit down. We definitely use his first. Alright, we'll do this. Tough call though. Sound effects are bugged. It's bad. Wow! That is a surprising amount of damage out of his Kandar there. What the fuck? I know he hits hard for an AoE unit, but like, damn. And he didn't have any buffs. Like he did not have the Mystic Code buff. He just had Ushi's attack up. That was it. That's all he had was Ushi's attack up. So Arash did a lot of damage. It just wasn't particularly relevant. But I don't think we really need it anyway. Just NP2. He's just level 90 NP2. So he could be like, you know, level 100 2k foe, and then like NP3 or to 5, right? So that's pretty impressive. I mean, I've always known that he hits hard. I just didn't swing him that hard. Shit. And his thing is like he hits really hard, and he makes someone else hit harder too. It's only 10, but Pin is single target and gets her NP up really quickly. Arash died for 8k. I mean, it got Lance or Tori on the team, so it was still worth it. Yeah, that'd be funny if you get like two characters, like with horses like that, but we put Ushi in the middle instead of on the back. Because Ushi does have a horse, she just doesn't get it in FGO for some reason. That was kind of cool. Thing, biggest Kandar damage. Oh yeah, you get one of these from the missions. How generous of them. Oh, look at all these missions that we've already completed. I'll never forget the one time I did Fate Zero on NA. It unlocks mission after mission after mission that I had already beaten all of them. It was so silly. I might as well go ahead and ascend Gray. I know you need to do that. It's kind of nice though. Everyone else has had to wait forever to have Gray get her coins, but this account never had Gray to begin with, and it's just getting Gray, and now she's gonna have her passive for her extra battery, and then her own battery. So, kind of just jumps right into being a good farming unit right there.
ここではアイテムを交換できるそうです。
Not sure how many of those we're actually gonna need, but you know what, we'll give Gray foe items, that's fine. Give Herc that attack up.
Yeah.
Big boy Herc. At NP1, by the way. Fucking hate that, dude. Level 2, look out. Double Rongo Bongo meta. I'm sure we'll have stages where we do that. I could see like Caster or Rider Berserker or whatever. And I might use Lance Artorias against Riders anyway. Her being NP5 and all that makes it a bit easier to justify. All the way to level 4. Alright. I think you gotta take her to Ascension 3. That is true. Gray is a monster when they are undead, I will say. You know, she's kind of just a middle of the road AoE unit for the most part. That does get her NP quickly at least. But yeah, if they're undead, you fuck them up pretty good. Good kid though. Alright, probably just use some of the 5-star ones in a minute. I have streamed Armored Core. Unless you mean Assassin's Creed. In which case, probably not, because I find those games incredibly boring and they're also really expensive and everything, so fuck that. But yeah, Armored Core I have streamed, and Assassin's Creed I don't think I could have less interest in, to be honest. The only one that looked cool to me was the one with the pirate ships. That one looked kind of cool. Air conditioner, but yeah, Armored Core, I'm all about that. But yeah, maybe we will play some Armored Core soon, because the new one was announced, and you know, Elden Ring's gonna take a lot of my time, I'm sure. So, what I'd like to do is actually make YouTube videos for it, because 10 years from now, I want to be able to remember Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer and all that, and you know, I don't know if they're ever coming to PC and stuff, so I'd like to make a few videos of some of my favorite stages and do some gimmicky, silly stuff or whatever. But yeah, maybe I get in practice, because for the videos I'd want to like be good at the game again. So maybe I get in practice again on stream. The only issue is I'd really want to play 4 Answer, but I would kind of hate to make, like, to throw people into 4 Answer without them seeing Armored Core 4 first. I'd feel like a bad person if I did that. But I like 4 Answer's gameplay so much. It's so good. I don't know, maybe we stream 4 then 4 Answer. We did that a long time ago. I don't know, we'll see. Kind of depends on how many people are interested, I guess. Alright, we don't even have the other Ascension thing. This is as high as we can go right now. Yeah, I'm really excited for the new one, but we got a bit of a wait. Alright, I think that's all we needed to do for her in terms of ascending. I'm not sure we actually have the mission for it yet or not. I think we did. Freebies! Okay. Not sure what we have to do, but probably just beat all this stuff. I imagine. There's actually quite a few of these unlocks, jeez. Okay, that's a free quest though. Alright, only land time. What shall we use? There's always Clown Boy, but let's try without. Let's go like more neutral. Oh Jesus. Look at that, the fucking 112, man. What are our stats right now? Fucking 17,000, 17,000. Yeah, that's reasonable. Oh, Cairo. Oh, Cairo. It's never gonna be a thing. I mean, maybe he gets buffed. Maybe he gets buffed. What are his stats right now? MLBK scope. That really is one of his best CEs. Check Saber. Oh, God. She is pretty solid now, though. Missy, do you have her passives? Look, 8,700 attack, dude. At level 80. Oh, yep. Not maxed yet, though. They gotta get that maxed. Because, yeah, then she's got her battery and her NP gain, and then this battery. It's actually quite good. Oh, yeah, and she got a good animation update, didn't she? I haven't used her in a while. Kind of forgot about that. Tesla's always a tempting one. You know what? More of this. Oh right, that's part of why he did so much damage. He had an event bonus. Still though, that damage was nuts, even with the 50%. That was still nuts. Without the 50% though, the Arash might have actually been somewhat practical. Probably still overkill, but it would have been a bit better. Let's see. I bet you whatever foreigner this is, you could still fuck it up with Herc if we set him up properly. It's hard to do that with these two dead weights on the team. Only bond 2? What the hell? Great, please! Yeah, these only give like 900, Jesus. The slow grind for those two. You know, when you're gonna go at neutral, even at level 80, that generally does pretty well. I bet you Arash won't be good here though. It doesn't seem like it would be anything important. Nah, let's not use that. We'll use that. I don't see Nero on this team. Why would you ever expect Nero on my team? Unless we're talking about Nero Chaos, but he's not in the game right now, but he probably will be eventually. I would like them to add roast beef to FGO, honestly, but she didn't even make it into the new Melty Blood, so... Unfortunate. She had a pretty cool fighting style. She'd also need to be a shielder, which they're certainly not going to allow that. They'd probably just bullshit and make her a lancer or something. Alrighty. I'm just gonna throw the evade out now, really. Preemptive. You said there was dead weight on the team. Hey, I may not like Nero, but she's pretty good. Like, Nero Bride and Caster Nero are insanely good. They didn't attack any. Well, it's free turns off of David's cooldown, so... close. If she had killed there, they'd only get to attack one time, which would have been really good with David's skill there. NP game, go get him. Wow. Fuck that guy. Oh yeah. The chariot. Good turn there. And look, another free turn off our David cooldown. It was definitely right casting that then. Man, David is awesome. I really want an animation update for him now. His interlude is like the saddest thing. Feels bad. Oh, hi, Kentucky. Probably gonna have to say goodbye, Kentucky, though. I think we're gonna, just fire this off. Kentucky Rider caster, yeah. Oh shit! Oh shit! Crit miss, by the way. Well, the good news is it's another turn off David's cooldown and also free NP gain for the big man himself. That actually kind of helped me, to be honest. Alright, what do you got, game? Not quite as impressive as what I was thinking. Like, this should have like 300k or something. You know what, let's just wait for his Kandar and then fire everything. Cause he's gonna buff. Now, I could probably just win with his NP, but we want to show off their damage because he buffs them. That's his thing, is he does big damage and his teammates do big damage. He buffs the shit out of them. And they got some team wide. Look at all these buffs. Everybody's sharing. Alright, we'll give him the attack up though. Alright, let's see what David does. So David is not an event servant, not Grail, nothing fancy. His CE doesn't actually boost his buster damage, it's his art damage. Still 76k, that's not bad for neutral. He's obviously not getting his anti-giant damage. Yeah, I think Ushi's getting the counter class here, so it's a little bit more. Yeah, 202. Also just level 70, by the way. They have really good synergy because they're both writers and they both buff each other, so that's actually quite strong. I bet you a lot of people out there that are like free-to-plays and they got Iskander early on in their accounts lives probably did that plenty, like Ushi and Iskander. 270 though. Throwing rocks. It works though. I do green. Yeah, I figured that it's pretty nice. Yeah, that last mob had a bad time. Wait, that was a free quest. Oh, that would explain why it was so underwhelming. I was like, what the fuck? Why are these? Yeah, that's free quest too. Oh, are we? Okay, these are the good. Okay, no, that's a free quest. The red ones. I guess it's just the red ones that are the real fights. Alrighty, that's tempting. We don't use her very often, and it is a ruler. And I think berserkers are like the fun way to kill rulers, where Avengers are just so boring. Man, Otto, you must hate that she's fucking NP1 because she's 100, 10, 10, 10, all that good stuff. But just NP1 though, feels bad. Hopefully she'll get rated up again down the road. Well, let's see what she can do at NP1. I'm using her now. It's sad. You know, at least the cool thing is, if you ever do get her at a higher NP rank, she's already ready, right? She's already sitting there, 10, 10, 10, you know, level 100, ready to go. So the second you get like another copy, then you kind of just instantly get that big potential there. So at least there's that. But yeah, I know it sucks. My Tesla was like that, where I was just sitting there and I'm like, can I get NP2, please? Oh, you even got her extra attack up. I labored for that extra passive. I'm guessing she's a really high bond then, because yeah, you don't get a lot of coins for just one copy. Yeah, what is her bond then? Must be super high, bond 10. At least that's enough. At least you don't have to go higher than that. But yeah, it still takes a minute. All right. Let's make a team here. I'm guessing it's Berserker trasher than a ruler mob, but it could be Berserker with a ruler. What shall we use? Hopefully this will be a scenario where this actually does something. Okay, hopefully he doesn't steal anyone's thunder, but you know, okay, we won't give him his CE. Well, he'll be regular Herc here, but we're gonna try our best to make sure Dino Mom gets the glory here. Herc, my Herc's like bond 10, but he doesn't have a passive because he's not limited, so he gets even less coins. I gotta get more Hercs, man. We need the goods. Oh. Oh my god, it just comes in roaring. I love it. Alright. Yeah, I remember this stage from back in the day. Alright, so NP gain. Do it like that though, because Caesar's only got the one art card and his NP gain is dog shit, so that's his one flaw. And that doesn't count as being attacked, so you don't get NP gain from that. They didn't hit George any. Game, please. Oh, it's so tempting to make Caesar do an outrageous amount of damage, but we don't need it. These voice lines are incredible. Pretty good. The boss has a defense up, and I think it's a big one. We have so many defense downs. Getting a little out of hand here. Will this be enough? Probably not. It's got that NP gain buff, but close. Oh crap. I actually needed George to die because we got our NP that way. I want to do his art card, but I think she might be able to break right here to get lucky. Yeah, chop chop. Well, that kind of worked out. See, this is where you'd want this unit that comes in to be like Chin Gong. Oh my god, Poe. You can remove the Pearson vulnerability and the defense buff. Oh, that is so not balanced. Oh my god, and then he removes all the deep. What the fuck? Actually a support, by the way. What the hell? Let's give her the attack buff. She's in P1, she needs the oomph. see what she can do here. Removing the Pearson vulnerability is so brutal, and then the defense up as well. Oh, she's got this. Okay, well, okay, the MP didn't have that, but she's still got it. Laser beam. Actually, I think her animations are really good in slow-mo. She's one of those that looks kind of better in slow-mo. It's kind of hard to see the chomps and stuff without it. That was so unlucky. But they did the turn order in a way where... That sucks. He had so much damage, dude. He had all his buffs ready to go. And his, you know, attack up thing. Okay, Herc may end up stealing our thunder here. Dads need to go, though. But... the Buster Chain... How can you say no to the Buster Chain? I mean, look at this. Oh my god, I must. It's too good. He didn't crit with that Herc. At least he got that. Man, if he had crit with either of those other cards, she would be dead. Also, if we had his extra attack up, she would be dead. Like, if she had like, what, 20 to 50, and if either of those had crit, she would be out of here. Okay, it's actually... fuck. I was gonna say, she face tanked and then she kept getting hit. It's, big hit count there on, Nobu, apparently. Try to keep the, Dino Mom alive here. Okay, she's still getting the kill. There you go. Fucking Herc showing up with a triple buster, dude. Like, I'm here, boss. I got it. We need to win really fast, though. She's, defense down, low on health. Oh, here we go. Got that extra attack up. It's not gonna be enough. Close, though. Come on, Nobu, don't do this. Okay, we're alright. No crits. Alrighty. She got it. Yeah, they kind of made up for that though by only having the one MP no matter what stage she's in, which is obviously why they made it that way, which kind of sucks. But hey, at least she got the Dino animations. She's not really popular, which kind of sucks because she's one of the better things from Requiem in my opinion. And also just really unique gameplay. That's, again, good, but not overpowered, which is nice. Like, unique, good, not overpowered. That's like my favorite thing. Alright, I think that's the last one of those, so it's just the free quests now. I like how we got that other design for Ushi, which I have a feeling was her original design from back in the day. That it was forced to be changed. And, but yeah, it's not obtainable. That would have been, because I like that better than her waltz get up. Because her waltz get up is still just so chaotic. Like, yeah, she's actually wearing clothes now, but like the skirt is so big it looks silly, and then she's a Frankenstein clothing still, so. Where my Merlins at, man? I guess we'll just do what we were doing earlier, honestly. That's been pretty effective, I would say. I wonder how many grade coins we have right now. Alright, Tristan, where are we at here, bud? Alright, this is it. This is the last one he's got to get. He just needs 1,800 bond, and then he's done, and we can get his NP upgrade. Make life so much simpler. What about Gray? Gray's... I don't know what her next one's gonna be, but she's getting there. I think he can use a 50% charge one here, although I don't have a particularly good one for him, but okay, I'm pretty sure that'll like guarantee the bonus spawns. Man, if you played the original event, you can easily have 3 of those, which is complete overkill. You know someone out there has got like Bond 13 Gray or something, and then with the few coins you can get early on, they're probably already getting the ball rolling. I mean, hell, there might be someone with Bond 50. Did we stall again? App crashing like crazy, man. But yeah, there's probably a couple of people with Bond 15 Gray. It's gotta be someone's favorite character. Also, doesn't she get a bond bonus? And she got a bond bonus in the original event, so somebody probably got her to like bond 11 or some crap in the original event, and it's a lot easier when you get that big bond bonus. And then now the rerun, she still has a bond bonus, so... Hey, thank you for the raid, FG rolls. Thank you. Alright, we're just, dicking around right now, though. Alright, I guess Spartacus wave 1. Hopefully we'll unlock more main story when we, beat both free quests here, but we'll find out. Always the water guns with the raids. You sure Taiga's about to have a bad time? Look at Poi Poi selling out to Google. No one would have ever found that link without you, Poi Poi. Oh, this is the Da Vinci fake event and all that, the true fake thing. And I want to say, don't they still do the true fake thing where like the fakes and trues can spawn? Like I think the true one here is Beowulf and the fake one's Fergus. That's kind of cool if they kept that gimmick from back then. Big bump. Super dead. 400k. We didn't really have any buffs either, like we didn't have Castoria's attack up or anything. This account actually needs those. Loot! We are a little bit behind because we're only playing this account on stream, but it's a pretty smooth event. Does anyone know how far you gotta get though for the raid, and when is the raid? Because if the raid's not for a little while, I don't need to rush. But if like the raid's like tomorrow, then I should probably get my butt in gear. So it's up to the time gate. That's actually really far in then, isn't it? Because I remember Case Files is like barely time gated, and it's only at like the end. Not until the 18th. Okay, we got plenty of time. Okay, no problem. We'll make it there easy. Hell, with this event lasting longer than the original, which is kind of weird, but I might do this on a third account depending on like what else is going on. I sell out to Google to throw nickels at you. That explains a few things. I guess a Rosh here. I'm guessing this is the Areshagal Christmas event. I don't think they used this background for the other ones. That was actually a pretty good event. It had a boss every day, and they were kind of medium difficulty, and so if you wanted to like use low stars or solo or whatever, they could be pretty spicy. They were just nice. You got a new boss fight every day, and then you do farming. Like that's. I wish we had more stuff like that. Yeah, the Christmas event was good. Good Final is like amazing, and that's. I so wish that was like the standard format. That's like the shit. Most of the tower events are good, although there's a little bit of padding in them that can be a little boring. But the previous tower events bonus floors were pretty damn awesome. The beach event was pretty good, actually. I enjoyed that overall. I think that was a pretty good format as well. And Case Files is pretty... Case Files is not, like, great, because none of the boss fights are that good, except for maybe, like, the challenge quest and the final main story fight. But it's pretty smooth to play. I feel like Case Files is, like, the best way to do, like, a normal event, right? Because Case Files is pretty normal. But it mixes up what you do a lot. It does have some okay boss fights to mix things up. They're not, you know, that good, really, though. That's my one issue. If Case Files had bosses more like Good Final, or even boss fights like in the Christmas event that this one is from, then I would say Case Files is, like, super awesome. But because the boss fights, for the most part, are pretty whatever, I don't rank it that high, but I don't rank it low either. Like, it's not boring to play like a lot of the other ones. But yeah, honestly, Good Final is one of my absolute favorites. The only reason why I'm hesitant to say it's my favorite is just because it's, you know, thematically maybe not my favorite. But like, in terms of like the gameplay curve and how like you could make the boss fights really hard by not using the story support, but if you didn't want to do that, you could use the story support. That was great. And there were so many boss fights. The farming was really smooth. It was not like tedious. That is such a good event, and the challenge quest was good. Like that event is just so much fun. And if that was like the typical event format, obviously you mix it up a bit, you know, change things around a bit. But like if it was that kind of like curve and like how the farming is going to be and how many boss fights you get and like the quality of the boss fights, I would be so much happier with FGO. Like, oh my god, I would be so happy. Give me that and then give me story replay and we're good to go. Oh yeah, I got the buzz drop, just making sure. Did my crits in the wrong order, but hopefully it won't matter. Yeah, account system. Honestly, account system needs to be added more than story replay. I personally want story replay more for the fun, but it's pretty absurd that there's not even an optional account system. That's kind of crazy. But we got safety net. We got safety net, so that's one thing down. Obviously, it's not the best safety net, but the thing is, a shitty safety net is still so much better than not having one at all. You know, like what happened to New should never happen to anyone, and it won't. It won't ever happen again. Like that nonsense is over, and thank goodness. Now, if only we could go back in time and give the safety net to New. Red hair stalling us out here. Yeah, the big things left, and these are really big things, and some of it's still kind of embarrassing that we don't have it, but the UI needs to be overhauled, because the UI is a nightmare. And you should be able to add, you know, upgrade units and change things from the team screen, obviously, like so many things, like way smoother. The UI needs a big update. Account system, that's obvious. Why are we talking about V13, New 13? What brought that up? Blaze Blue, by the way. But yeah, and then story replay, and then like I'd like other optional game modes too, but that's like a bonus. Yeah, hopefully NA gets the safety net early, but I'm not sure they will. We'll see. Because like they want how do I put this? They want to have things on the anniversary to get people hype, or New Year's to get people hype, or you know that what's that? They do like Thanksgiving or shit like that. They like to do things like that on big events. So I'm not sure they would actually bring it out early at all, but we'll see. It is certainly quality of life, and I bet you they're going to get like so many requests to get it early. So let's do this stage again because there's just so many event missions there. New Gundam, yeah, there we go. Yeah, it doesn't have to be 900 SQ, but it equals out to what 900 SQ is, right? It can be summon tickets or whatever. But you do have to take note that the safety net does not carry over between banners, even if it's a rotating banner, so you have to really be careful about that. I wish that wasn't the case, because I really like how Genshin has the safety net carry over, because it means if you have no willpower and you roll all the time, or you save up in the stockpile, either way, you're guaranteed to get 5 stars at a certain interval. Like, just no matter when you roll or how you roll, you're getting 5 stars in Genshin at a certain rate. And it's a pretty reasonable rate, in my opinion. So yeah, I wish FGO did that as well. But unfortunately, yeah, you've got a stockpile for it to kick in. The idea, though, is, and this is statistically how it will normally go, is you want to get the rate up before hitting the safety net. And you normally will, like statistically speaking, you will normally get the 5-star before 900 SQ. It's just, every once in a while you get to be that guy who's like the 1% that doesn't. And now that won't happen anymore, which is why I'm very glad they added a safety net. Like, I've seen a lot of people bitching about it, and on the one hand, I get it, compared to some of the other safety nets out there, it really is not that generous, but just having it, I think, is good enough. Like, it's good enough. The only way I'll really bitch about it is if over, like, this next year, they start giving out a lot less free SQ, right? Like, if, like, clearly they're giving out less free SQ and summon tickets, then I would bitch about it, right? Because then that's getting pretty scummy and you can kind of see what's happening there, and that's not good. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Obviously it's too soon to tell, but historically FGO has actually been pretty good about the amount of free tickets and SQ that they give out. Like, they're decently generous, so. What I think I'm going to do, between the Herc account, my regular ult, and my main, I'm going to make sure one of my accounts always has 900 SQ. I feel like that's like the safe thing to do. That way, in case they ever add something that I'm just so, it's like Guadia or Zeus or Mars or something, I'm ready. I'm actually one of the few people that actually wants Zeus more than Mars, even though I think Mars is a cooler guy and whatnot, but Zeus's like design is just so awesome. Now that could change because we haven't seen Mars's like avatar form, and that's obviously the one that would be playable. And Mars's avatar form could just be 10 out of 10. Now Mars's mech form looks better than Zeus's in my opinion, like by a lot. I think Mars has the best like mech form, but by a lot. Like his is quite good. But Zeus's avatar form is just so like. That's exactly what I like, what I want out of Fate, right? It's unique and it's anime, but it's still classical enough, right? I really like that mix, and Zeus like got that right on the button. But honestly, I like all the designs of the Greek gods, really. Like Demeter's fine, Aphrodite's fine, so on and so forth. So, although we never got to see Hades, maybe someday. I would hope that if they said they designed all the Olympians, we just didn't see them all, but they said they actually made official designs for all of them. I would hope that if they ever added Hades, they would use whatever design they made back then and not like change it to be more topical or do something new or whatever. Because like Proto Merlin's a good example of this. I don't think for 1 second that Proto Merlin was always intended to be a female. When you look at the way like Prototype was originally designed and there were no gender bends and everything, I think back then Merlin was like a vague concept and they didn't even have a set in stone design yet. but I don't think they had ever intended it for Proto Merlin to be female. I would hope they wouldn't do the same thing to Hades, where they had original design and like a thing in mind for him, but they never saw it. And then when they get around to adding him, they end up changing the design to fit like some new thing. It's like, well, now we want it to be more spacey or gender bent or, you know, whatever. It doesn't like feel like he's the same kind of, you know, design philosophy that the other Olympians had, right? And he's like clearly going to really different. I wouldn't really want that. I want whatever they made. I want that. And hopefully that's what they would give us. But I mean, Vortigern technically is still regular Vortigern, right? He's still out there, like the regular self, the old man version that we had. It's just that's not the one you see in FGO. But like technically, normal Saint Graph Vortigern is still the normal one from Garden of Avalon and all that. It's just, you know, they're never gonna add that one. I mean, maybe they do. And some people in my chat last time we talked about this said they really thought he'd get added eventually, but. I mean, I hope they're right and I'm wrong, but I don't see Vortigern getting added. The only way I would see regular Vortigern getting added, like way down the road, because you know, in like 2 years or whatever, they might do more stuff with Camelot, like in 3.0 or whatever, like sure. But the thing is, the only way I think he would come back in like a normal form is if like the Oberyn Vortigern wasn't unbelievably popular, which he is. So now they're like, oh, if we do anything with Vortigern again, we obviously got to like, you know, get more money off of that thing because that thing is so popular. Now we got to do, you know, make him a caster now and make him a writer now or whatever, right? Because the that version of the character is just so outrageously popular. I don't see any incentive for them to actually add regular Vortigern. Jesus Christ, if they added regular Vortigern into Arcade, dude, and they got the same voice actor from Garden of Avalon, and they probably would. Fate is generally pretty good about that when they, you know, have like a voice actor for a character early on for like an obscure thing, and then way later when they finally like bring the character in a more like major way, like in an anime or FGO or whatever, they normally get the same voice acting. So yeah, they probably would do that, and I would be pissed as fuck. The only way I would see them getting regular Vortigern though is if they actually made it to Lostbelt 6, which they've said as of right now they only plan for 1.0, so you know it's not really clear if they would actually bother with all that or not. Depends. What they might do is if they want to keep doing stuff with Arcade is they might just skip some of the Lostbelts and do like really popular ones, and then that's that. So maybe they do get to Lostbelt 6, but honestly, when I think about it, Oberyn is just, or Oberyn Vortigern, because it's technically not Oberyn at all, actually. This feels bad for Oberyn fans, by the way. Anyway, he's just so popular that they'd probably want to put that one in Arcade too, because, you know, money. I mean, hell, Sega probably wants to do that already anyway, like just right now, like just add him now, fuck it. So yeah, I don't know. I think Oberyn being as popular as he was is kind of the death sentence for Vortigern. I actually kind of want Arcade to die because a lot of times when games like that finally die in the arcade, they do make a console and home version, you know? And they normally don't have such a scummy business model for that. And it'd be kind of cool. I don't think Arcade is like a good enough game that it's like I'd want to play it all the time. But, you know, for some casual fun, you know, look at the characters in 3D and, you know, mess about with the boss fights, a little, you know, 3v3 PvP every once in a while. Yeah, I could enjoy it casually like that for sure. I think it'd be a good time. But the business model it has is awful, and, yeah. But, like, Gundam vs. Gundam, right, it used to be in arcades for a really long time, and then once it finally died down, they made a PlayStation version, and it had a completely normal business model and whatnot, so hopefully that would happen for arcade. Normally I would say it would, but man, Time Moon is weird when it comes to handling their IPs and stuff. So if it was any other company, I'd be like, oh yeah, of course Arcade will eventually get a console version, but because of the way Time Moon is, I don't fucking know if it will. I hope it does, but I don't know. Okay, we have a lot of free quests here. Avenger. Hopefully we can just do this with the same copy-paste bullshit that we're doing, but we'll find out. I don't mind the new CL design, but I don't know. Her old one was good too. Doesn't really matter to me. What I would hope that they would do, they're not going to do this, but I would hope what they would do if they did a collab event, which they probably are doing a collab event, and I think this year most likely. But it's either this year or next year, I'd say, pretty easily. Anyway, it'd be nice if you had both designs, like through a costume or an ascension stage or whatever. Like, hey, look, I changed my hair. Like just have her change her hair, because that's really the only difference is the fucking hair. So just have her change her hair in one of the ascension stages, right? They already have a lot of servants that do that, so that'd be a good way to, I think, appease the player base. But I don't know. What they're probably gonna do is they'll have her in her like nun get up. And then they'll have her in like the combat get up, and then they'll have like some other, you know, made up nonsense for like stage 3. So that would kind of limit their ability to change the hair, I feel. Yeah, that silhouette looks like it's Arcade, and if it is, then I think it's very likely that that's because of the collab. Like, sure, they could technically add her without doing a collab. And, you know, you never know. I mean, they added Karen out of the blue, so it's not out of the questions. But if that's Arcade, I would say the odds of this year's collab being Tsukihime go up pretty dramatically. It's never 100%, of course, but seems pretty likely. And at that point, I figure Shiki, Welfare, Arc, probably 5-star, and CL, people are all over the place. I could see her being a 5-star too. I mean, they've added 2 5-stars at a time before. It could happen. People always say she's gonna be a 4-star. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. I don't really know how popular she is. If she is really fucking popular, then I think she's gonna be a 5-star, right? And if she's just kind of popular, then she'll be a 4-star. But if she's like crazy popular, then I think she's gonna be a 5-star. Like they would definitely add 2 waifu 5-stars. They've already done that before. Okay, oh god, it's sabers. Why did I bring a Lancer to... Well, I guess it's actually better to use... No, there's an Avenger at the end. Okay, no, we'll still save Lancer or Toria then. Okay, hopefully there's not a big saber. There could still be saber trash, but... hopefully this is all there is for that. Let's go Spartacus with Castor or Toria's art up. That's the good stuff. I wonder if Scion is going to be playable. You know what I hope that they would do is if they do a Tsukihime collab, they take advantage of the fact that there's already some Melty Blood stuff running around, and they kind of do a Tsukihime, you know, Melty Blood plus thing. Because obviously Melty Blood is kind of like part of Tsukihime, but it's got like its own unique characters and stuff that you don't see in Tsukihime. So it'd be nice if they kind of threw some of that stuff in, like, you know, Scion or whatever, because she's already in the game. I hope they add, you know, Nero Chaos though. He's pretty cool. And Ro is alright, but I don't really like him in the remake like nearly as much. I mean, he's okay, and like his moveset's kind of cool in the Melty Blood game. Like it's kind of spicy. But yeah, I don't know, he looks like a drug addict now or something. Not the best. What I really want is K and K villains. That's what I want. Like, there's a lot of K and K villains that are really cool and interesting. Their designs are maybe a little, you know, tame, but who cares? That would be so funny if Ro was added into FGO and he died to Edmund in like the collab event, like again. I don't think they would do that because that would just be the biggest slap in the face to Ro fans. It would be hilarious though. Can you imagine that? Especially if he didn't even play a big role in Tsukihime collab, right? He just shows up and then Edmund just black flames him and Soul kills him again, and it's like, well, that's it for him. Like anyway, Arcade. Okay, we've at least done every free quest once, but we don't have enough missions to actually move on. So we got a lot of missions here. There's even a mission for Beowulf who never spawned, so that's kind of tricky. Oh god, we just have missions for everything, don't we? Okay, not a whole lot there, but there might be one of those things where you have to do only land a certain number of times. If you do, it's really easy to notice because it's in English there. Let's find out. Yeah, those are all the time-gated ones.
動機だけはそう。どこまで行っても彼らもまた
I can't remember how many, like, I don't think we have anything to do the only land 1-5 times. So are these the only missions that are left before the time lock? Because that is not a lot, and like this one's basically done. This one's basically done. Yeah, that's not a whole lot, if that's all we got left. If that's true though, we're definitely ready for the raid. Okay, I think we'll wrap up FGO here. That's enough shitting on Ro. We'll do some Dark Souls today though. I didn't do that yesterday. But we'll do some of that today, I feel. I'm in the mood. Kinda wanna get my strength character ready over there. Some people really like though, how to say his name's new design, so, you know, good for them. But yeah, I definitely preferred the old one. Yeah, to be honest though, I'm not a huge fan of him either way. Like, he's okay, I don't mind him, but for like the villains in Tsukihime, I like Cape, Vampire Dude, he's pretty cool. You know, Neo Chaos, yeah, they're better. None of them ever got enough screen time though. That's a big thing I don't like about Tsukihime. It's just way too focused on like the romance and the good guys, and I'm like, I don't care about that. The good guys are just, like, CL is the only good guy I kinda like. Am I forgetting someone? Who the fuck else is there? I don't give a shit about Shiki. I don't give a shit about Arcade. Who else is a good guy? I don't even remember. There's somebody. Oh yeah, he's alright, but isn't he mostly Melty Blood? Is he in the remake? I don't know. I don't know if he's in the remake or not, but he's alright. I don't really care about the maids. I don't know if Akko even counts, right? She's in a fucking flashback. Like, she's fine and all, but she's not really in Tsukihime. But yeah, I guess Vampire Dude, he's not in Tsukihime either. He's technically in Melty Blood, so it's all the same. Who gives a shit? Anyway, alright, give me a minute here, chat. We're gonna switch over to FGO. For those of you that are just here for FGO, we'll be back at this tomorrow. And we're gonna go PvP or something in Dark Souls now. I'm having fun though. Like, it's kind of nice just chilling with case files. Not too bad. It's not my favorite event ever, but it's certainly better than the average. Might fix T here in a second. FGO to FGO. Is that what I said? I meant Dark Souls, obviously, but yeah, guys, we're wrapping up FGO, and now we're gonna start FGO. That sounds an awful lot like our last collab event, is what that sounds like. God, fucking FGO, ex-FGO, Waltz, that was just so outrageous. Has anything ever reeked of filler, like, more than that? Like, that was so fucking dumb. It's like they just didn't want to do prototype. You know, it's like, Jesus Christ. That would've been, can you imagine if that was a prototype collab instead, and we got a Proto-Q animation update, and Arthur buff or something? Get B666, man. That would've been great. Nasu wants a Dark Souls collab. Actually, I think he wants a Bloodborne collab specifically. But from that interview, I think he'd be happy with anything like Sekiro, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. I don't think he would care. That's like, but yeah, he was like he was kind of on the fence about if he wanted to do collabs that weren't Fate related. It's like it's kind of tricky. But then he was like, yeah, if I could pick anything, I would want to collab with FromSoft, which I'm so not surprised by that. He's a huge FromSoft nerd. Okay, let me, I think I got my monitor set up proper. There we go. Alright, chat, do you all have any preference? This is our strength character right here, but we're gonna level him higher than 35 because we already have a 30 character. I think we're gonna take him to at least 70. I might go higher than that because I don't even have a 90, and I kind of want a 90. And strength definitely likes having points. We got that guy's ready though. That 51 we were working on yesterday, he's pretty much ready to go. He's got a few bells and whistles he could still get, but dude, he was like level 40 at the time. I had to beat Demon Prince with a plus 4. I did Demon Prince with a plus 4. That was awful. Like, holy shit, it was awful. I was down to like my last flask and I was just like banging my head against my desk. God, I've never been so happy to kill Demon Prince before, dude. Fucking hate that boss. Let's see, large club, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the club. I want to get. He's almost ready. He just needs to level mostly. Level 88 character win. You can make it work. I could do 88 instead of 90, really. It's not a lot of reason to, but alright, yeah, it's club time. I feel like the club guy probably at least 70. This guy pretty much all he needs to do is beat Osiris and then beat Gundyr. The problem is I actually need Gundyr's halberd and I need Prisoner's Chain. So I might need to get Cairo to do a drive-by and drop me one or the other. Let me send him a message real quick. Let's see. Because yeah, if I don't get Cairo to drop me the ring or Gondor's halberd, I'll have to go to New Game Plus, which I would rather not do because that's a pretty long process. Although New Game Plus is kind of fun actually, so I should do it at some point, but I don't feel like this would be the character I'd want to do it on. Alright, let's go murder Osiris though, and we'll, let's queue up for, wait a minute. There's no way we're gonna get Aldrich's Faithful at level 35. We could level up so we actually get it. We could do the Forest, but that's like nothing but twinks. It could be blue, I guess. I want to invade, but I do want to get this character ready, because he needs to do so little to be finished. Dancer? Oh, I didn't reset the VOD. Let's just do that real quick. Gonna be kind of an awkward intro if I put this one on YouTube, but let me separate the VOD real quick here.